On camera.
On camera. Uh-oh.
It will be used against you.
Is that astronaut food right there?
Bananas?
Do astronauts eat bananas?
I don't
Probably.
know.
I think I've seen them discard the peel and it just kind of
The
goes
peels,
floating off.
I
Okay.
kind of doubt they do that because that's all kinds of stuff that goes inside the computers. They don't want loose particles floating around the
Flying around.
space station.
No.
But in
Oh.
the early days of the space program, they did have some monkeys go up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything, Ted, about you being a monkey or anything. I'm just
Oh, God.
if I get too silly, just let me know and I'll shut up.
I love your silliness.
Joe, you got too silly years ago.
I
know.
love the silliness.
Well, it's the start of my weekend, right? So I do tend to get giddy a little bit after a long week at work.
Yay!
Awesome.
So are all your teammates back on their feet, or?
Yeah, we had a few people that got. Let's see, one guy went on vacation out of state.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he had to purposely quarantine when he came back. But we had a couple others that got it. But yeah, everybody's back and healthy.
Good.
Wow.
That's good to hear.
Is Curry using OBS?
Yes, I did get my rig set up this week.
Yeah. Excellent. I
see.
was like, I can see his
There we go.
hands.
All right.
3 dimensions.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. How are you doing?
Good. Decent
Excellent.
weather here in Ontario at the moment. So
Okay.
the winter's not been too bad. So
Yeah.
a little colder, but temperature is supposed to go back up again. But who knows whether we're going to get slammed with snow again. Winter went long last year, and we couldn't even get our garden planted until middle to late May.
Oh, wow.
It was late. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's better this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here in Southern California, we're having a bit of a cold snap, and in fact, it's foggy out, which is pretty rare in Southern California. And I think this week is supposed to be the high 50s pretty much all week, so that's very unusual for us. So.
Well, I'm not going to give you a tissue for that, okay? Because I don't want to hear it.
Well, we had a little bit of rain maybe yesterday, and maybe a dusting of snow in the mountains, but overall, we're in a really bad drought. Last 2 summers, we didn't get our summer rains that we normally do, and the snowpack in the mountains is almost non-existent. So they're already saying that south of Elephant Butte Reservoir, they're not going to have any water for any farming this year on the Rio Grande, which means the whole chili crop is going to be impacted in New Mexico, which is a huge thing, right? Yeah, New Mexico chilies, right? So
Yeah.
Wow.
It just started raining here.
yeah,
Like
Raining.
the ground got a little bit wet.
We had some snow, some freezing rain last night in here in Missouri, and it didn't ice over like they said it would. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
So I'm not for snow at all.
yeah.
Yeah. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing well. Thanks.
Excellent. Good. How are things in your parts?
Good. It's cold. It's windy and cold. It's
Okay.
about 6 degrees with the wind chill here in New Hampshire. So.
Wow. Remind me where you live?
New Hampshire.
Ah, yes.
That's 6 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if that was Celsius, that would be much warmer, right?
It would be, yeah.
Okay. I've never really grasped. At some point, I learned the conversion and the formula and all that.
Not 9/5 plus 32, I think.
Oh, wow! Yeah, big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Gregory, what did you do about your shorthand?
Short.
I should have known you would
Gregory's-
call me out on
Did you
this.
get it looked at by a doctor?
I
My
looked at
shorthand.
See, I
that
have-
shorthand, and that's
I
no
have a
joke.
shorthand.
That is really. I hope you can do it.
I know.
That looks really hard, but I think, well, I guess once you know how to do it, it's not hard.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because a childhood friend of mine, he could pick things up like that, like nobody's business. He would invent his own shorthand as well as learning all these various written languages, and it just blew me away. And then I would try and learn it, and it was much more difficult for me. But some things I pick up on pretty quickly, but then other things it's like, well, but I do want to do it.
Did you see the book? I looked at some books on eBay, and it says Greg. You know how all those books are the Greg says Greg Short, and I'm like, oh my God, you have to do that.
I know, huh? I know.
or at least get royalties.
I know,
Something.
yeah. I would have to add a second G though, because they spell it with two G's on the end, which is actually one of my pet peeves. Because people frequently assume that there's two G's on the end, but it's rarely spelled that way, actually.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like.
Do you pronounce it differently if it has two G's?
Yeah, you pronounce it.
Good.
There you go. With a stutter. Excellent. Yes, but I do at least want to learn the basics, like for the super common words. Well, the one that pretty much everyone knows is with. You do the W and a slash, and that's with.
Okay.
Sounds like without.
I know, huh? No, that'd be slash dash.
Oh, wow.
So how many shorthand symbols are there in the Greg system? Let's say, like, could you make a typewriter with just shorthand symbols on it?
They do.
For instance.
They're called
Do they?
shorthand typewriters.
Shorthand typewriters? Yeah, I guess so. But I didn't know if court reporting was a different language than regular shorthand, like that's taken by hand.
Well, I mean, the symbols would be different, obviously, but because I could be mistaken. Well, I know in the court reporting, you're doing is it the phonics, like the sounds,
Phonetics.
something
Hooked
like
on
that.
phonics.
Yeah, that
Right, whereas-
sounds about right.
Yeah, whereas with shorthand, you're doing. I believe you're just shortening the words. Essentially, you're creating new symbols for each word. Which with some words you wonder, okay, how would that work? Like supercalifragilis, blah blah blah.
Just draw a picture of an umbrella. Draw a picture of an umbrella. That would be the shorthand.
Yeah.
My version of shorthand is to just write the first letter of the word and then scribble the rest of it, and then
try to figure it out.
Only I can read it though.
Yeah, that's how I do my signature. Actually, I just did it.
Hey, Joe, on that little card you sent me.
Yeah.
Your signature on there was beautiful. I was like, wow, I need to frame this.
That's the only thing I can write good is my signature.
It was I at some point I'll go get it. I know basically where it is, but I mean it's amazing because usually you just do like Joe or even your initials.
I have a little way to do it. That looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw your full signature and I was kind of blown away because you don't want to see my full signature. Yeah.
Now you're like, hey, I can forge checks.
That's right.
I know, huh?
Or Poles or Germans or whatever. So.
Oh. We had into briefly
signature as well. That's why I could never be a doctor, a pharmacist, or a lawyer.
Oh. Yeah. You were going to say something, Eric?
Yeah, I was going to say I read your blog article about your Royal Quiet Deluxe. You mentioned that yours didn't have magic margins on the right side. I thought was interesting because my Royal Quiet Deluxe is I think it's from the year before yours, and it does have magic margins on the right side. So I'm wondering if maybe yours might just be broken or gummed up.
It does
I-
because you use the same lever forward and back to do the different.
Oh. I thought it might be something like that, but I was like, this is really weird. So I went in there and adjusted it manually.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
The one with the only one lever on the side that
Yeah.
goes two ways to do the magic margins.
Oh, so okay. Okay, so
Yeah, and actually,
probably go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I also, I tweaked the touch and the carriage
Ooh.
motor to get to a point where it's not skipping anymore. So I didn't have to go inside and mess around with everything. And I'm glad that I didn't have to do that, because I was kind of worried that I was just gonna make it worse. But I was able to get through an entire letter to a friend without it skipping once. So
Oh
it
wow,
seems
that's
like,
great.
I was able to. The only thing now is that the A key and the X sometimes will hang up, and I think that's just, it wasn't doing that because the touch was a little bit heavier before. But oh well, I can probably just
Yeah.
degrease that a little bit more.
Are you touch typing when that happens, or does it happen just with single finger typing?
It mostly when I'm touch typing, but sometimes every now and then, like if I when I go to cross out like a word or something with the X, it'll like hang up.
Yeah.
So
I see.
Yeah,
Brent
I
got a
got
mix of
baby
habit
Jabba.
right here.
Yeah, this is Nora. Miss Nora.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a crazy.
Arr, 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 arr.
She's a crazy dog.
Oh, cute. Once
I have
again, my
another one,
dogs are
too.
sleeping.
Is that
Yeah,
an
the other one's
English
over here.
bulldog? English
Huh?
bulldog?
A pug,
Pug?
right?
The pug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pugly.
she's a pug. I have another one over there too. She just got done eating. I have to feed her 2 pieces at a time
Are
until
are
she
they
gets
all
done.
are they all wheezy?
They do. They make some noises. They sleep on the side of the bed on the floor, and they make some noises some nights. And my husband thinks
Yeah.
there's a cat in the house.
Oh.
Like, no, I didn't hear that. But yeah, she was making some snorting noises this morning, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, what are you doing over there? But they're cute.
Yeah.
They're good dogs.
Yes, excellent. Oh, such a
I
cute
love her.
face. Yeah.
She's a cute. Wait till you see the other one.
Oh my.
Maybe I should get the other one. Hey, Maud. Maud. Come here, Maud. Come here. Come here.
The other
say
one's
hi.
name is Maud.
Yeah, this one is Maud. This is my
Hey,
other one.
That's the nickname of one of my dogs. Her name
Really?
is Madeline, but we call her Maud.
Yeah, this one is Maud. Maud.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
The other one seemed to have more white on the face.
The other one is an apricot, and this one's fawn color.
Okay.
And she's more brown, and the other one's more black on her stuff. Her face and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
She's so cute.
Excellent. Yeah. Very good. Sean, how are you?
Good. I just love those little loaves of bread, though, you have in your arms there. But I'm good otherwise.
Yeah.
Excellent. How's the weather there?
Cold. We got hoarfrost on all the trees last night, and more snow's fallen, so it's absolutely sweaty. I love seeing you in your T-shirt, though, Greg. That's really thank you. Good.
We have it rough here.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Excellent. And we lost Indra again. Indra's kind of in and out. He's
There he
probably Oh, okay. There you are. Oh, out walking the dog.
No.
No?
Having
No?
a smoke, bad habit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
bad.
I might try to quit this week.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
Good.
probably a good idea. We
It's
we
bad
support
for
you on
me.
that. Yeah.
I know.
Plus,
I've
you're
quit a
making
few
up.
Not very
times.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so how's the weather there? It looks nice.
It's a bit gray
Oh, okay.
and it's
It was just-
cold.
Okay. Well, it's not as cold here, but it's very overcast. So Yeah.
All right. Oh, we had snow this week, but it was
Oh.
not a lot.
Ah,
Just
okay.
a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Bill, how are you, Bill?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning.
I'm hanging in there. How's everybody else?
Good.
We're good.
Nice
And
to see
we're-
everybody.
Yeah, we're all talking about the weather. So how's the weather there?
This is your traditional Portland winter day. It's damp, it's gray, and it's I guess the most of the country call it cool here. We're probably actually today we're probably cold. We're probably right now I'm guessing upper 30s, maybe hovering
yeah.
around 40. So
Oh.
That would be cold for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a mild day in New Hampshire in the winter.
Exactly. We've got family in New Hampshire and Texas both. So from one extreme to the other, sort of. Portland's kind of somewhere in the middle, but
I like Portland winters. Pretty nice, actually.
they're very. I mean, generally speaking, they're mild. They're overall they're considered mild. It never gets too terribly cold. We've been here for almost 20 years now, and it used to be when we first moved out here, we'd see multiple snowfalls every winter. It wouldn't stick around for real long, but here in the city, we'd still get some snow. But lately, it doesn't seem to be nearly as often. Not that it was all that often before, but so it's
Yeah, the
changed a little bit.
big thing I noticed when I was up there a few years ago was the 18 hours of dark every day.
Yeah.
About 6 hours of daylight, because you're far enough north. But in summertime, you have 18 hours. Yeah, in summertime, you got 18 hours of daylight. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it oscillates.
Mm.
But it definitely feels like I should still be in bed at this point.
Well, you shouldn't, because it's Typewriter Club.
Yeah. It's not allowed. Although if you doze off on camera, we'll forgive you.
It wouldn't be the first time, sadly.
Oh.
I'll try to stay awake though.
As long as you don't fall over, we're okay.
Yeah, well, it could be there could be entertainment value there,
True.
Not work, so you'll fall asleep if you want. I mean, a work is a little different.
Bill, did you get that typewriter? Did you buy that SF?
I did not. What?
Someone got it. It's gone.
Oh, did they? Yeah. If it
Yeah.
had, if it would have had the 11 character per inch typeface, I would have been more tempted. But I'm gonna be on the wait for a while, I think, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe somebody was lurking in the shadows here and
Could have been.
heard you talk
Yep.
about it. And
Yep.
so.
Grabbed it.
It's kind of funny that you say that because we were talking about. Well, I believe Sarah mentioned that there was a Hermes 10 on Shop Goodwill. And I had my original bid, and then once she mentioned that, I got nervous, and so I went on Shop Goodwill and raised my limit.
Oh, that's right.
And I was still outbid.
Oh.
It went to my. I would have been kind of a little nervous if I had to pay as much as my upper bid was, but I figured, well, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, and if not, then. But I ended up losing it. But
That's the way I usually look at those deals. I'll typically I'll put like what the high bid that I wouldn't hate myself for would be. And if it goes past that point, then like you say, it wasn't
you
meant
let
to
it
be.
go.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did manage to pick up. Let me make myself big here, and
Just managed to pick it up again. I just heard you grunt.
Oops. There we go. Okay. So this is my royal senior companion.
Oh.
Very nice.
And I believe when I was mentioning this, I was talking about how in the Shop Goodwill pictures, it looked immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
They always
And-
do.
Yeah.
But this is one case where it was. I opened
nice.
the case because the outside of the case was filthy, and that's always the case.
Always the case. The case.
But then I opened it, and the interior of the case looks okay. And I saw the typewriter, and I was like, "Oh yes, perfect." And they followed my instructions for packaging it, so it arrived beautifully. This is the one that I need to adjust the shift alignment or the vertical alignment.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it has a
Good.
gorgeous finish on it. Oh, and I don't know if you can.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see, but the on the typing, it doesn't really pick it up. But on the typing, it does show that the characters are shaded at the bottom, so they definitely need to go up. Yeah,
you need on feet.
Yes, and actually, the shading is light on both cases, upper and lower. So it really needs to go up.
need to put that on feet.
Yes. But other than that, I'm thrilled. The typing action is perfect. The sound is. Let's just see
Let's
if I
hear
can.
it.
I know, huh? I think I have it on original sound, so you should be able to hear it.
Oh, we heard the first
Goes
hit.
quiet.
And then it noise.
It's supposed to be on use original sound, but I think some of the settings it doesn't.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
So it's actually pretty darn quiet, and the sound it does make is kind of in the higher register, so it seems even quieter, I guess you might say, at least to my ears. So I'm very, very thrilled. So once I get that adjustment done, I still haven't found the set screws on there.
They're open up the lid.
Yes. And sadly, this does not have a button that you get to push, but
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
I know.
Now look between where the spools are and the carriage. You'll see when you do the shift up and down, you'll see a couple screws at the top.
Put it on your forehead.
Carriage. Yeah.
Like on either side of the ribbon vibrator?
Yes. Because you'll see them attached to the basket. Now here I am pointing, and you can't see what I'm pointing at. But you'll see two screws on either side of that basket mount, and they are. It's kind of like a carriage shifter, the way that it adjusts. You'll use those screws to on either side to lower first the on feet and then the motion. One set is for the on feet and one set is for the motion.
Are the ones you're referring to back here or
Yes.
right here?
Back
here.
Back where you pointed, yeah.
I see them.
Okay.
Perfect. I thought that might be the case, but I was like, it doesn't look like those would do much if I turn those.
They have set nuts on them, right? So set
Okay.
screws.
Perfect.
So you
Very
loosen the
excited. Very
nuts,
excited.
and then adjust it with the screw.
Are
Okay.
they similar to the setup for the carriage fore and aft adjustment, where it has the oval shaped, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's got the little collar around it, so when you twist it one way or the other, it will apply pressure up or down.
Yeah, that would be the ring and cylinder adjustment.
But the screws on that ring and cylinder adjustment have a little collar that's oblong, so that when you turn it, one way, it will apply pressure.
Yes.
Is that how this adjustment works in a similar fashion?
Not the on feet and motion on a Royal. Those kind of work like a carriage shift machine, where you have one adjustment on each side for on feet, and then one adjustment on each side for the motion.
Oh, okay.
So, and those just have lock nuts and a screw. So you loosen the lock nut and use the screw to make the adjustment, and then you tighten the lock nut again to lock it down.
Is the lock nut on the front also, or is it behind?
It should be right there where the screw is. It's actually attached to the screw. So.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I have to get back there, whew,
No,
that's gonna be rough.
It's actually easy to get to. Let me
Okay.
pull up because I always have a blog post for these things. I will pull up a blog post and throw it in the chat for you to show you where they're at.
Excellent.
So I'm curious. The typewriter that you showed, was it the Royal Companion?
Senior Companion.
Oh, Senior Companion.
I'm
it
not
looks
sure
really
what the
similar
difference
to the Quiet Deluxe. It looked like it was similar in size. Like what are the differences?
It lacks all the features.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the same
Is that
machine, except they have slightly different feature sets.
Yeah.
Marketing speak, Gregory. There's less to go wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I like. There's less to go wrong. It's simple. I just have the features that I need. Like, it doesn't have tabs. I don't need tabs.
Yeah.
I actually love the magic margins, but I can live without them.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's
why I like.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that's why I like the Royal Light that I have. It doesn't really have any features, no tabs, no touch control, nothing. But it works perfectly. Like, there's nothing wrong with the way it's tuned. It's actually my favorite machine to type on. So sometimes the less adjustments that you have to make, the better.
Yes, and the 60s era Royal Companions are basically the Royal Light. In fact, I think it is the Royal Light. For some reason, the two designs kind of just grew into each other. But yeah, it's very similar. There's like no features really to speak of. And the one I have, I think it's from 1962. I love it to death. First of all, it looks pretty amazing. It looks like a little sports car from the 60s. And it feels like it's built like a tank. And it types wonderfully. I actually refer to it as my James Bond typewriter because it's sporty and yet super strong. So, and it works really well. So I love it. But my understanding is I kind of lucked out with mine because some of them can be really bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear people talking about how the later Royals typically skip. I think Ted had mentioned that in the last one. And strangely enough, it seems like all the later Royals that I have are the ones that don't skip, whereas the earlier ones were the ones that were. So it's like backwards.
Yeah. My Quiet Deluxes from the 50s, those are the ones that skip the most. My Futuras, if I if I do a little spurt of key presses, they'll skip. But the Companions, they never skip for me. So I think that's one reason I love them. Yeah. So.
All right. So I put a link in the chat for you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Unfortunately, on the iPhone, it's not easy to get to the chat. I think that might be. Yes. May was sharing that link with me on Facebook. So, and I felt silly because I read the top part of the blog post, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't apply to mine." And so she says, "No, but you have to read further." I was like, "Oh,
but wait, there's more."
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. But yes, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate that, and that's why these blogs, like yours in particular, are such a great resource. They're just on the internet now, so this information is available to everyone. So it's fantastic.
That's why blogs are awesome.
I know. Yes.
You just have to read to the bottom of every post to get the.
I know.
It's just like a box of Cracker Jack, you want the fries, you got to dig down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. That's very true, and it's worth it too. Oh, excellent.
Bob's here.
Yes, hi Bob. How are you?
Morning. Oh, my
Good
mute's already
morning.
off. Oh, morning.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
I was queuing in on YouTube while I was doing my hair and brushing my beard. And I'm a huge fan of any typewriter that does not have margins to worry about, that does not have, we're just not using these machines to fill out forms anymore. We're just using them for typing. So I've learned my favorite machines are, I think I have a Remington Monarch, and it does not have a tab. It does not have, it doesn't have it doesn't have a tab to worry about. So it's very exciting, and I'm sure it saves like 4 or 5 ounces in hardware on the machine, right? So
We need to go back to our bells and whistles episode.
Right. Well,
that's going way back.
Oh, there you
This
go.
one,
Royal?
this one doesn't even have a bell. There's no bell. And then I noticed I was using it yesterday or the other day. It doesn't have a 0. So I have to use the capital O, which I screwed that up and did the lowercase by mistake. I made all kinds of mistakes, but that's okay. But yeah, it doesn't, it's just simple, and you use it and it works, and you're done.
Is
that your Tessie?
Yes, it is. That's my.
Oh.
I had a 1977 Corvette. It was orange. It was this color that I just sold a couple months ago. I've had since 2003. So I'm like, I have to have an orange typewriter to replace my car. Although that's really, it's not the same, but oh well, that's okay.
Gas mileage is better.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I don't know. I just love cars, so I'll have to show you. I have a picture of it over here.
I'm just trying to make you feel better.
That's really funny. Growing up, my mom had the same Corvette, only it was 2-tone.
I've always, ever since I've been young. Here's my car. This was my car.
Wow.
And it only had like 66,000 miles on it.
Oh.
And I did some work on it. I worked on it and tried to, do some of the heat stuff underneath the carpet. I put new carpet in it. And then I started to work on the gaskets and all the seals, and then I got a Camaro, so I that went to the side and been sitting in my garage for I don't know how long. So I finally got rid of it because I don't drive it. I wasn't driving it. When you got a brand new car, you're not gonna. I mean, I love that car, but it was just sitting there, and I'm like, I have to sell it because somebody's got to use it. It's just so awesome. I can't just keep it just to look at it. So
as nice as Corvettes are, I heard somebody once say, when you get an old Corvette, what you have is an old Chevy.
Yeah,
I love Chevy. I
I know.
Yeah, it was a great car. I mean, you get in that thing and you're like in a cocoon, and you just you get part of the thing when you drive it. And it's awesome. I just love it. I would just cry when I drove it. It was just it was awesome because I wanted one ever since I was a little girl, So I finally got it, but it's like, okay, it's time to let someone else have some fun. And
I would probably get claustrophobic in one of those.
Oh, you take the T-tops off and
okay, that'd be better. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Excellent.
It's not like a DeLorean where you get stuck in there with no window to roll down and
just
have to open the doors. I know.
Go 88 miles an hour in a DeLorean. You'll be just fine.
Oh,
yeah. You'll end up in the 50s. But
my husband, we had that thing out the one night, and we were going over 100 miles an hour, and it didn't even feel like it. It was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. So
I had a friend in high school who got pulled over by a police officer. He was going. I think he was going like 80 in a 60, and the cop was like, "What do you think you're doing?" And he's like, "I was just trying to get back to the future, officer." And the guy was just like, and just let him go.
Okay. If we're going to talk about old cars, I got to tell you a quick story. And my brother, this is in the late 70s. My brother was in the Navy, stationed in South Texas in Kingsville Naval Air Station. He came home on leave to Albuquerque. He needed a car. His father-in-law took him to the New Mexico State Police auction, and he got a New Mexico State Police Interceptor Chevy Nova.
Oh,
350 engine with a Tonawanda Corvette heads, and it was a three-speed column shifter, three-speed column shifter. And he drove it back to South Texas, and the speedometer only went up to about 120. But there was a stretch of road that was super long and straight, and he had it pegged, totally pegged. And he passed a Texas state trooper on the side of the highway. So he just shut her down and slowed down and pulled over and waited for the cop. About 15 minutes later, the cop pulls up, and the cop was laughing at him. And he asked him, "Why are you laughing at me?" He goes, "If you hadn't have stopped, I never would have got you." And he goes, "How fast was I going?" 152.
Oh my goodness.
That car only had a 3-speed transmission, but you could go almost 60 miles an hour in first gear.
Wow.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, got top shocks, top tires.
Yeah.
Put on gas.
Yeah.
Bluesmobile or what?
It even had the underneath the under part of the engine compartment had a sealed panel for aerodynamics, right?
Wow.
Yeah, those were really fast cars. No, I do the same with my motorcycles that I race. I've got 4 old KZ1000s, and I'll pull up to work, and then the moto guys pull next to me going, "Hey, we used to ride those motorcycles. Those things were fast." I said, "Well, let's try it, officer. It'd be really great to see how fast, the new BMWs, the new Hondas, as fast as the old Kawasaki motorcycles. None of them have taken me up on my offer yet, but it sure would be nice if they did."
Well, those new BMWs have anti-lock brakes, which is kind of nice for a motorcycle, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, they're really wonderful. And the KZ1000s would do a wobble about 120 miles an hour with the fairings on them, and they had a few issues, but yeah,
the death wobble.
The death wobble. Those
So you're not a Harley guy?
No, gosh, no. I've had a few Harleys. They can't keep up with me. They keep breaking.
My dad has a Harley that he pretty much, I think, takes a ride every day on it. And my brother-in-laws both have Harleys. John and I never got the motorcycles. We were the Corvettes. We used to have 2 Corvettes. We had 2 1977 Corvettes. Well, blue one and the orange one. And he'd have one kid in the one car. I'd have one kid in the other car. And we'd go to they had car shows in the parking lots up at the grocery stores. And everyone would park their old cars around, and you'd bring drinks, and you just walk around and look at all the cars. And I remember the one time going home, he took the one car, and I had one kid in the front seat and one kid shoved in the back seat in the back bed of the Corvette, laying down back there to get home. And it was so much fun. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, and I was joking with the other guys that growing up, my mother had a 77. It was a 2-tone silver edition. And so yeah, she would stuff like 4 of us in this Corvette. I never got to drive it. I don't think I ever got to ride in the front. I think I was always stuffed in the back the few times I rode
in the back.
But she had it for 10 or 15 years, and we just knew we never touched Mom's Corvette.
No, don't touch the car. Yeah. That's what my friends come over, because I have a 2013 orange Camaro, and my friends will come and the guys will come over, and I'm like, don't lean on the car. Well, I like, just get away from my car. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Just go over there. Leave it alone.
That's
but yeah, my kids knew better. My kids knew better. Don't touch the car.
Yeah, my stepsister was older than us, and her husband had a satellite Sebring. This is like a 1969 or something like that. This is back in the day, and he raced cars. There used to be a track out on the south part of town by the Air Force Base, and he would race. He was a Mopar guy. Anyway, there's a long history of racing around here.
Yeah, Brenda, did you say you were in Missouri?
I am, yes.
All right. What part?
In High Ridge. Well, I'm just outside of St. Louis.
Right. My mom's whole family is from Independence. And every so often people make fun of my accent because I was born and raised here in Riverside, but I talk like my mom and her family, as the rest of my siblings do. But I've got to spend some time over in Independence. So
do they tell you? See, I'm from Ohio, so some people think I have an accent here, and I'm like, I don't think I do, but I don't know.
No.
But I've lived here 30 some years. So
you sound like one of my aunts to me, so you sound just fine where anybody else.
Okay.
Here in Southern California, though, people like to speak very proper. compared
Oh,
to
yes.
Oh,
Good for you.
oh,
Well, I think typewriters are definitely cheaper and easier than cars and motorcycles.
They are, and you can.
Probably-
I can take that
Yes.
with me, and I don't have to pay insurance on it or nothing.
yeah.
I don't have to do nothing.
That's
Oh,
good.
Bernardo, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good. You know, I have to say, I don't think I don't think I've seen you wear a vest before, and there. I used to watch a show called Degrassi High or Degrassi High School. The Canadians here probably know what I'm talking about, and you look exactly like a character named Claude on Degrassi High School.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
I can't see him. I don't see him.
Are you on an iPhone?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm on my iPad. I see everybody else, but I don't see him.
You might have to swipe to the side.
Oh.
Or up and down.
Something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. But do
wow.
any of the Canadians here know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's been like 3 iterations and they just have a 4th now on TV. So Degrassi,
Really?
oh yeah, Degrassi's been sort of a Canadian, show coming of age type thing with problems
Yeah,
and all.
institution. Yeah.
And every iteration it gets a little more what would you say, in this modern day where things are a little more diverse and extreme, it's sort of followed. So, I find old Degrassi when it was just a little simpler and it was, not as fraught with the stress of today and all the crap going on in the world. The Canadians.
Yeah. I strangely enough, I grew up watching it, even though I'm a California boy. So
From there, normally no American ever knows about anything that happens in Canada.
I think that's why people often mistake me for being Canadian. Yeah, but I think they were showing it. It must have been on PBS that they were showing it.
Probably PBS, yeah.
Yeah, and I just started watching it, and I got hooked because it seemed so. It was very, very different from American television, and seemed more real. The characters were much more real, and it was just super fun. And in fact, I have I ordered the Pat Mastroianni, the guy that played Joey. He organized a reunion for the show. Basically, I think it happened last year, and I ordered this. It's kind of a magazine that he put out, basically his memories and like behind the scenes photos that he took and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their inner nerd, eh? I mean, we all have typewriters, but there's always another layer to everybody that they've got.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of funny seeing Bernardo dressed like that because he looks so much like Claude. Oh my goodness. But how are you, sir? How are you?
I'm very well. I did watch last week's episode, and
good.
I was glad to know you received your medal collection is growing.
Yeah.
I was successful in infecting you with another.
I know. Oh man! In fact, at some point I'll go grab them because they are pretty cool.
Oh well.
But, yeah. One in particular is a pretty big one. I think it's like 3 inches.
I'm very curious.
Yeah. So I'll grab those in a minute. But how's the weather there?
Better than a few weeks ago. It was very cold. I really don't know Fahrenheit, but we were very close to freezing. But this week we're on 12, 14 degrees Celsius, so it's much better.
That's so nice.
It's still cold, but endurable.
Yeah. Excellent. And how are you, Dan?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I had my mute on or not. I'm good. I'm good. I've been listening every week. Was not able to join in the last few, unfortunately.
That's understandable.
Yeah, I've got the kids every other weekend, and then the weekends that I don't have them is my catch-up period for housework and so forth.
Yeah.
But I have had you guys playing in the background, so I've enjoyed every minute of it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. No. you've been asking everybody the weather. Southeastern Wisconsin is where I'm from, and we had some snow this morning. It's about 28 degrees, which has actually been warmer since for the last week. We've been in the teens, so this is typical Wisconsin weather for sure. We're ramping up right now for our Packer game this afternoon against Tampa Bay. We got two good quarterbacks against each other, so it's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope everybody's well.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like it. So yeah, we're all good.
One shout out I wanted to make to Joe was that calendar video you made. I think that was one of the best videos yet. That was incredibly creative. And I've probably watched it 20 times now. It was awesome. So I just wanted to tell you that was fantastic.
Well, that was a direct result of last week's Typewriter Club, because I literally was sitting here, and I think it was actually this piece of paper. Yeah, this piece of paper that I started just playing around with. I don't know why. One of you guys, somebody said something about calendars or something, I think. And so one of the reasons why thank you. One of the reasons why I have two machines set up here is this Studio 45 is strictly going to be for collecting ideas, because you guys talk about stuff and all of a sudden, I got to write that down. That's a cool idea, right? So I'm doing a one-type page blog on this Olympia, and I'm doing my collecting cool ideas to steal from you guys so I can work.
Not if I say patent pending.
That's one thing I love about this, because I do see how our discussions are inspiring you, Joe, and I'm glad for that, because everybody loves your channel. So
definitely.
God knows I need more inspiration. I haven't been buying any new typewriters, and I'm up to, what is it, episode 250? I'm at 240, ready for 250, right? So you'd think I'd run out of things to talk about. But not me. I can still talk.
Well, I think
look at us
that you've been able to generate ideas still.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's been fun. It really has been. Yeah.
Now,
I want to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I want to second that. Joe, I really enjoy watching your videos, and I follow a lot of YouTube channels, but you're probably one of the only channels that I discovered where I binge watch pretty much all the videos. So I've been following your channel for a while, and I really appreciate the content that you create.
Thanks. It's funny. I was at work yesterday. I work at a major semiconductor manufacturer whose name starts with INTEL. Anyways, so I'm the calibration coordinator for my area. So I have to take a bunch of, all the stuff that's calibrated, right, for ISO standards. We have to take it down to the Cal Lab and make sure it gets calibrated and everything. So the lady that runs the Cal Lab started watching my YouTube channel, because she races motorcycles, and she's been thinking about starting a YouTube channel about motorcycles. But anyways, she started. She said something about I talk so well on the air or something like that on the video, and I was like, yeah, that's right, I talk so well. you don't see all the edits where I edit out all the ums and the ahs.
I think you have a really entertaining way of presenting the content, and so it's interesting to watch, even if it's like about a particular subject that maybe I'm not necessarily interested in. Like, I still enjoy watching your videos, and
that's
I've actually thought about starting my own YouTube channel.
That's a good idea.
You should definitely,
because I've been really interested in fountain pens, typewriters, records, and just because I like to talk about that sort of thing, and not all my friends are interested in that, and so sometimes I feel a little bad just kind of maundering on about it with them, because I can tell that they're probably bored. So it'd be a way to.
I've had a number of people mention when they see my channel and they start thinking, maybe I could do a YouTube channel. It gets me thinking that maybe I could do a series of videos, or at least one video, about how do you get started in YouTube? What do you need as far as cameras and what editing software and all that?
That would be fantastic.
You don't really need. I mean, everybody says you need a fancy, this, that, and the other, but to be honest with you, I edit my movies in iMovie. I don't even use Adobe Premiere or all the other fancier editing suites because everything I do, iMovie does it good enough. And I'm using, cameras that are a few years out of date, and but they seem to work. And I don't worry about the Panasonics don't autofocus very well because I use manual focus, right? So I don't care about autofocus. Nobody ever autofocused in the studio in the old television days. So that's where I come from. But so, anyways, I'm thinking maybe at one of these days I'll at least do a series of blog articles or maybe videos or both about how do you start in YouTube and all that. So
that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much work is involved in making a YouTube channel. I don't have one myself, but I had to help my son make a video for school. And after that, I have a whole new respect for anybody that has a channel because I did not realize the time involved in editing and shooting and lighting. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So again, Joe, that the efforts you put into it is much appreciated by all.
Thank you. Well, one of the things I figured out is how to be systematic. Like I have this little studio table behind me, and when I'm in the middle of a video and I have stuff on the table and my camera actually pulls out here to the focus position, I'll leave all that set up when I'm doing the edit because I know halfway through the edit I'll realize I forgot to say something or I forgot to. So I'll just go back and shoot a 15-second clip and pull the memory card out and stick it in the computer and transfer it and add it to the project and continue on. So there's a lot of like little quick stuff I do like that. And you kind of find a way to do things like my little intros to my video. That's another project. I have to shoot some more intros, but
can you bring back the tree?
Huh? What's that?
Can you bring back where you look through the tree? I like that.
Oh, you like that one?
I like all of it, but keep the tree in there too.
I have some that I like better. What I really want to do, so I shoot my intros in 4K, and I shoot most of my other footage in 1080p. And the reason why is if you start your movie project if the first clip is a 4K clip, iMovie thinks the entire video is a 4K video, but you can put all the other footage in it at 1080p. And it won't use up as much memory or processing in your computer. And then when you upload it to YouTube, it thinks it's a 4K film, even though it's mostly 1080p. So I like to shoot my intros like time lapses. And the one intro I want to do is of the Sandia Mountains, close to the mountain. And the problem is to get the right location, you have to be on the Indian reservation, the Sandia Reservation. And there's a road, Tramway Road goes through that. But if you park off the side of the road, the state police will write you a ticket in a heartbeat. So you have to either get way off, and then the tribal police will get you, or there's one picnic ground where you can pull off, and there's a side road before you get through the gate that maybe I can park in and set up the camera for 45 minutes and do a sunset with the light coming down on the mountain. It's that kind of stuff I want to do, make some better intros. But that's the other drone. I need to get a drone. I know everybody has drones. You know what I have though is I have one of those expandable. I have one of those expandable painting poles that'll go up to like 15 feet long. And I've done this. This is actually funny. Yeah, you put a camera on the end of that and you walk around. Hey, there's a poor man's drone.
You can put a GoPro on it. Yeah,
you put a GoPro on it, right?
or you could just chuck it.
Yeah, you can throw it. Exactly. Well, put a parachute on it, like those little toys we had where you shoot the parachute up in the sky. Actually, the other thing I want to do is
actually awesome.
I have a little knockoff that's not really a GoPro. It's a cheap, off-brand thing, but it's lighter in weight than a GoPro. And I do have a kite that I used to fly a lot of, a Delta kite. And there's a park, a city park on the south edge of town, right next to the airport, right next to the Air Force Base. And the runway of the airport goes right by there. So I want to fly the kite and get some footage of the base. But the problem is you have to be below 500 feet within, 8 miles of an airport. And I have a homemade kite reel with 1,000 feet of line on it.
Oh, wow.
But the thing is, drone laws don't apply to kites. So, yeah. So if you put a string on your drone, it's not a drone anymore.
I don't know about that.
You could also get the I think it's the DJI Mini or the Spark. The drone laws don't apply to those because they're under certain
weight. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm a photographer for that's the work I do. I photograph weddings, and we also do videography. But I'm not one of the people that is in the company that really does a whole lot of the videography stuff. Like I know how to use Final Cut Pro and iMovie, and like I know my way around a video camera, but I'm not sure how deep into the editing of the videos I would want to get, because I'm just so busy. But I certainly appreciate watching a good video, and it's something that I'd like to get more into and maybe explore.
Oh yeah, it is fun. I would just encourage everybody to try it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, maybe I'll do a video on how to get started. But I don't want to. There's a term we use in my industry called rat holing. Rat holing is when you're in a meeting and someone starts some discussion that goes down the rabbit hole of another topic you don't want to get off on. So I've rat holed this whole thing onto video editing and whatever else we're talking about, kites and crazy stuff. So
I think it's important. The one thing I would add about Joe is that he never talks at you. He never directly talks at you when he's talking. It's very calm. It's never, you need to do this, you need to do, it's you could, you should. And I've learned these things are extremely important. I have an audio show, I have a motorcycle show that's on the podcast format. So it's extremely important not to scream at people. And I enjoy that about Joe's content.
I listened to a few podcasts.
Like the Bob Ross of typewriters.
The Bob Ross, yes. We're going to put a happy little typewriter over here by this mountain. This is just a happy little typewriter.
One of my favorite Joe Van Cleve episodes is the Boffice.
Oh,
where
the Boffice.
You're basically laying in bed and you're jamming.
I remember
trying to be ergonomic with your typewriters. I loved it. After I watched it, I went and did the same thing, of course.
It probably helps to have
Office Supply Junkie.
Yes, I need to do more of those, actually, Office Supply Junkie videos. But yeah, the Boffice is, it's like you need a typewriter that has a sealed plate underneath it. You don't want to use a 5 Series Smith Corona and get grease on the bedding sheets.
No Royal Quiet Deluxe.
No Royal Quiet Deluxe.
Don't use electric either. They get hot.
Oh, they get hot. That's right. You can't do that.
Well, it might be nice this time of year in certain parts.
That's right. It would be. Well, actually, a lap desk works pretty well for typing in bed, I got to say, for a small portable typewriter. Yeah.
How does that go over with your wife, though?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, there you go. Actually, on the weekends, she gets up before I do. I mean, I get up at 4. On my work days, I get up at 4:45, but on the weekends, I probably sleep in. Well, today I got up around 7 maybe, but anyways, yeah, she gets up first, has her tea.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So I
tried car typing that Joe recommended at one episode.
Oh yeah.
Really
car typing. Experience. Yeah. Well, if you're on a long car trip and you have a partner that's driving, sitting in the back seat is really a lot of fun. Especially if you have a medium-sized vehicle, larger vehicle with room, and you can sit back there and type and have a lot of fun. So, or like in the old days, I'm old enough. We had station wagons, and the parents would just throw the kids in the back of the vehicle, and you would just play back there, have a blanket and pillows, and life is good, right?
Seat belts. What are those?
What are those?
I used to love sitting in the backward-facing seat.
The way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and whenever like a trucker would come up behind the car, we'd go like this, and then they'd honk their horn. Yeah. So since we were talking about drones, I went and grabbed my little drone.
Oh yeah.
I have another. This is just a Holystone HS 510, and I have my other YouTube channel that's really just getting started, called First Person Walker. And among walking videos, I also do aerial videos. Or I just recently started that because I just got this. Yeah. And
Gregory,
yes.
How on a full charge, how long will that thing stay afloat?
This is a very small one, so the charge only lasts about 15 minutes, and it came with two batteries. So I can do a total of roughly 30 minutes.
Got
it. But then it takes 2 hours to charge each one. So
I see.
so you have your fun, and then
I know
you take a
almost
break.
nothing about the drone, so I was just curious.
It's pretty amazing, considering this was only like, well, this runs for like 170, but I got it for 120.
Oh,
brand new. So considering the price I paid, it does the job, and the camera on it is not very good, but that's okay.
Does that one come back when it starts to run low? Does it come back to the base? Or?
Yes. Yeah, it has GPS, so it can return to home. It's called return to home. So yeah, and I tested that feature, so it does work. I was in the California Citrus State Historic Park, and got some aerial footage there, and I purposefully let it get to low battery, and then once it gets to low battery, it automatically returns, and sure enough, it did. So yeah.
Man, there's a few times in my youth where I could have used that feature for myself.
All right.
They probably have to make it so that it returns, because you wouldn't want the battery to die and then for it to just fall out of the sky. It would be kind of a liability. So.
Yeah,
that's what ours.
definitely.
We had my husband bought one that was they kind of swindle him on the eBay, and it was not what they said. So they were flying it one day and it didn't come back. It fell in the woods.
Oh, no.
And then couldn't find it. And then I think like a year later, he was out walking through the woods looking, and he ended up finding the thing on the ground.
Oh my God.
So,
did it still work?
I don't know if it worked. I don't know if it works or not. It's like, oh,
okay.
That's incredible luck.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what Ted's working on.
Oh, I am working on ring and cylinder for my SM3.
Oh, nice.
I want to know where to get one of those lamps in the background by Ted. The blinking lights. That's cool.
Oh, Ted.
It's like an octopus.
The Medusa lamp.
Right.
I think I got that
Space
at,
lamp.
The thrift store. Desiree thrift store, right?
No, I think I got it at Kmart.
Kmart.
Now
Those are gone now.
Was that the blue light special?
It was probably about 2008. I think I got it. So I
My
got
first
the
job was at
carry 'em,
Kmart.
but that's where I got it.
I had the
back
Kmart
ways.
typewriter.
What job? What did you do? A cashier.
I was a cashier. Yeah, when I was in high school, it was awesome. I had to
Who has the
the bus
Kmart
would drop me
typewriter?
off. Our bus
I have
driver
the
would
Kmart
argue with me
typewriter.
about dropping me off in front of the
Oh, I want to
school.
see.
And
All right. let me find it.
yeah,
Kmart typewriter. Yeah, it's a.
When do
blue
Kmart fully?
light.
They're fully gone now, right? Are they
Yeah.
still around?
They are
I
here
think-
in
I
Little
think
Rock.
there's still a Kmart
there might
There's
be
a
a couple
town
maybe.
north of where I live.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a few stores left.
Kmart,
but
it's fully
Kmart.
plastic body, but the insides are a lot.
Who
of
makes it? Is it made in China?
It's
And
brother.
brother?
Oh,
Okay.
brother.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Brother made 1976. It's
Oh,
a really
cool.
good typewriter. It's a
Yeah.
little bit, clunky,
Yeah.
but it still types well. It's a brother. So
That would be a good bedside typer for the office.
yes, because it has the
The
closed
buttons.
bottom.
That's
It's
right.
Perfect lap typer.
Looks like it has a pretty nice low profile.
It has a nice
Yeah.
case. So this is the one I actually take with me to work because of the case. It's basically
yeah.
indestructible, waterproof or water
That looks
resistant.
like a good motorcycle typewriter. You could strap that case back of your bike.
And it's relatively lightweight.
Nice,
So, Kmart
nice.
Special Typewriter, 1976. That would have been what our bicentennial.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I also have a little fashion show for Ted.
Uh-oh.
If Ted's listening.
I'm listening.
Oh.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Collected dessert.
Nice.
Nice.
I got one more. So
One more.
grab it. I got.
Oh, wait,
I didn't
there's
just get
more.
one. But wait,
But
there's
wait.
more. So this is the other one. So I got purple
Oh.
and
Nice.
Oh wow.
Very
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Good.
Marge Simpson wore that on The Simpsons, didn't she? No, never mind.
Oh my. Very comfortable.
Yeah.
Order came quickly.
It would be
I
great
feel
to
like a
find someone
real
who has
typewriter
that
hunter.
It'd be great to find someone who has that die, and you can cut stickers with the, with the stars, or in this case, gears around it. I haven't seen anyone with those dies lately, but you got to make the sticker, and then punch it with all the super cool edges.
Oh, they make the sticker.
Yeah,
So
you can buy
you
the
can buy the
stickers
sticker.
from the same.
And it's
Redbubble.
die cut like that.
And it is die cut. Okay,
I believe so. Yeah.
I'll have to. I've been looking for some lately and haven't found anyone. I'm gonna have to dig deeper. Monk's like, and away he goes. We're so blessed to have Monk on here. I mean, we're blessed to have all of us.
We
on.
are.
Oh,
just lucky to be alive.
William, how are you?
Doing very well. How about yourself there?
Very good, very good. How's the weather?
Right now we're sitting at minus 17 Celsius, which is quite cold Fahrenheit with very light snow.
Wow.
Oh.
But you're warm there though, right?
I'm a what?
You're warm inside?
Oh yes.
Okay.
We have a house, the furnace works.
Good.
Got a nice sweater on.
Important.
Oh, nice. Very good. Well, welcome.
I've got a question for Bernardo.
Yes.
We've been calling him Bernardo all this time, but I noticed that you have a first name, but I'm not really sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's why I suggested we use my second name. So it's yeah.
But give us a lesson. Give us a lesson, Bernardo. How do you pronounce your first name?
Okay, I'm gonna use my Portuguese pronunciation.
Okay.
João.
Oh yes, João. Yeah.
João.
Yeah, but the A is nasal. So João.
João. Okay.
Now we know. We may not be able to pronounce it right. But
thank you, Bernardo.
Thank you for our lesson in Portuguese.
Very
beautiful
good.
language.
It is.
I did actually look up to see how it was pronounced, and if you look it up online, you'll come up with these YouTube videos where they basically pronounce it. I was like, oh, okay, but I didn't know about the nasal part though, and I guess that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the tilde indicates a nasal sound.
Oh, interesting.
We have learned something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is quite essential to have that symbol in a typewriter. That's why I have to stick to Portuguese specific machines instead of
Okay.
I can't buy any machine or I won't be able to write my own name. So
I know, yeah. You don't want that.
We have other special characters and accents, so it quite reduces the market.
Yeah.
And I've seen, for example, Smith Coronas. There was an exclusive seller in Portugal for them, so that's why they're quite rare in the 5 series. I've seen very few. I think there was only one seller. I've seen the seller's sticker on the back of some, so that's why it's more difficult for me to get Series 5.
Interesting.
We have a lot of Olympias and Adlers, and those are
Makes
perfectly
sense.
fine.
European manufacturers probably made
Yeah.
it.
You can't be disappointed by that.
I know.
Huh? Yeah. Darn it! I got Olympia. Darn it!
We got our Olympias to deal with. And Adlers.
Another German
I see a lot
machine.
of Olympia Travelers and Traveler Deluxes. I know Gregory has a thing for them. I actually bought a couple to give away at this Christmas to my family. So
very nice.
Gave away a whole series of Olympia Travelers.
Wow.
Those are easy. I guess they were very popular at the time.
Yeah.
So they were very easy to find.
So that leads to a question. Anyone's potential experience with the Olympia Traveler versus the last generation Olympia SF in terms of like user experience?
Never had the pleasure of
I had an
owning.
SF that was early 60s. I liked it a lot. It's heavy machine for the size.
Yeah.
The only problem it had was the line spacing sprocket gear. The line when you did a carriage return, the line would start a little high, and then maybe 3 or 4 characters later, it would kind of settle down. So that gear, it probably, my friend Kevin had a machine that was like that, and he ended up filing the teeth a little sharper on that gear. It was just probably dulled. Anyways, that was the only problem it had. It was a really nice typewriter. I ended up selling it to a local person, but I did use like a Splendid or a Traveler, one of those deluxe other ones by someone else. And I thought they didn't quite feel quite as solid as the SF. I thought the SF felt a little more solid. Yeah, there's Sean has one. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The arm, you know how that on the SF, that arm, you know, the thing, you know how that works sideways like that? You know what I'm saying?
For the
ribbon vibrator.
That's
or the,
awesome.
Oh, the vibrator. Yeah, it's yeah.
Mine is. I don't know. I like the typewriter, but I guess I don't use it enough to get used to it. But it seems really like janky to me. It's not. I don't know. It seems.
Janky's a good word.
It just feels weird when you use it. Like you have to really hit hard for it that to move, and it's just weird. It's the
Which
only
particular
one
machine, Brenda?
that's the SF.
The SF.
The Olympia SF. It's just weird. It's just a different feel, you know.
Yeah.
On the arm, on the return arm.
With the way the arm goes up and down. That's the ribbon vibrator, right?
The vibrator, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
And that will affect the way the typewriter feels to you, because when you know the universal bar that runs underneath the key linkages, and when you type a key lever, it moves the universal bar, which in turn does the ribbon vibrator and the ribbon spool turning action, and you feel all that in your fingers. That's part of the, and a typewriter that has an adjustable touch setting is actually adjusting the spring loading of the universal bar, how heavy that is. And so, yeah, that whole mechanism, you're feeling it. That's part of the touch. Definitely.
Weird. Are you on microphone? Weird.
Now, on the Olympia SF, if you lift the cover and look to the far right end of the top of the dial segment, there's a tiny little chrome lever that rocks forward and back. That is your touch selector.
Yes. Yep.
I happened to chance across it accidentally. I bought an Olympia SF. I was not happy with how hard it typed. It always seemed to take a lot of force. Then I downloaded a manual from Richard Bolt's site, and hey, okay, now I see it, and now that's a beautiful little typer.
Good.
So it's all about understanding the machine and adjusting it to your touch.
Yep. And it's also not just on the SF, but a lot of machines have this problem, is that the whole ribbon system that the universal bar moves, all those little linkages in there, if they get gummed up, that affects the touch. And that's why so many machines, when you do the touch adjustment, you don't feel any difference, is because all those little linkages, especially like the linkages that move the ribbon spools and raise the vibrator and all that, every one of those needs to be degreased and relubricated, cleaned, in order to get more of a feel of a new machine. Because all that contributes to the heaviness of the touch, even if it does have a touch adjustment.
That was particularly true on a Remington Typewriter EQR series made in England. I cleaned it. I could not get the touch to go nice and light. So I posted to the forum, and I forget who it was, said, check the ribbon spool drive shafts, where the shafts come up through 2 or 3 layers of frame. And sure enough, that was gummed, cleaned that, lubricated it, and now it's a beautiful typer.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
That might be the issue with my SM3, because I find that the touch adjustment doesn't really affect it all that much. And I didn't do anything to the ribbon drive mechanism. I just kind of did the spot clean of the basket and everything. But I did adjust the touch of the shifting mechanism after I think Ted showed how to do that in a previous live stream, and that made that shifting it a little bit easier. But I still find that the touch is a little bit too hard for me to type comfortably, to touch type. And because it's harder to press the keys, and because of the it's like a higher angle of the keys, like there's more of a rise, I feel like my fingers always get stuck in between the keys, like when I'm typing. So
yep,
not my favorite machine to type on, but I hear people really love it. So I wonder
My
if
SM3 is pretty light, so that you may have that problem, because the touch on my SM3 is very light.
Yeah, I'll have to take another look at it.
And the other option is to think about, just temporarily at least, try using just your index fingers and see. I know you have to look at the keyboard. It's not like touch typing, but it does, if you have issues with either like arthritis like I do, or weaker hands or whatever, it is a good thing to maybe try 2-finger typing. We not all of us need to be typing 100 words per minute necessarily, right? So, but whatever works for you. So I'm curious about the adjustment that Ted's making right now on the ring and cylinder. Ted, can you hear us? Over.
I can hear you.
Good.
He's deep in his project.
How's it coming? Is it coming along?
I went the wrong way.
Okay. Where are the adjustments at? Is it adjusting the carriage back and forth, the carriage rails?
Yes. Well, no, it's this eccentric nut right here.
That's the word I was looking for earlier.
I see the eccentric nut. What about the typewriter? Sorry, I couldn't miss that one. Just tell me to shut up and I'll shut up. So.
Let's see. Where am I pointed here? Let's see.
What are we doing?
Okay.
He's doing ring and cylinder on Olympia SM3.
Can you see this nut right here? It's got 2 screws embedded in it. Let's see if I can do a pointer. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, there's one of these on either side, and it has 2 screws holding it to a shaft. And you loosen the 2 screws, and you use that eccentric nut back and forth to move the carriage, or the platen and the carriage assembly, either forward or backwards. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, sure.
What are you trying? What is the issue you're trying to cure here?
I'm trying to get the ring and cylinder adjusted to where it's just kissing. The type is just kissing the platen instead of like punching a hole through my paper.
Oh, okay.
So I am in the process of teaching myself how to do that, because I don't really know. But
yeah, I looked into doing that on my Royal FP that I have since given to Bob Marshall. I looked into doing it, and it was too involved for me. So I was there was like four different screws or something like that. So
yeah, it's a not a complex adjustment, but it's kind of a scary one. I think.
It was scary for me, so I passed it on to Bob.
But you do it a few times, and this is my first time doing it on an SM3.
Okay.
But if you do it a few times, then your confidence level will go up.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm assuming you have to make sure you do the left and right sides evenly, right?
Correct.
To check it and like set your margins all the way out on both sides, and then check it at extreme ends of the platen so it's the same.
That's exactly what I did. That same thing on my Facet TP1 last week. I was messing with that adjustment, and it's interesting just how little adjustment it takes to get it to the point where, you know, you're barely getting a ghost of an image.
Right.
But like you were saying, Joe, I had to make sure that I was, you know, going to the extreme on both sides to get it as even as possible. And unfortunately,
I guess you can also increase the darkness of the imprint a little bit, right? By making it closer to the print position. I'm assuming. Sorry, I interrupted you. I stepped over you. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was just hoping to possibly avoid the need to send the platen off to get it refinished, because it's so hard on that machine, and everything else is just so awesome about it. But ultimately, I'm going to have to send that in because I just couldn't get it adjusted to the point where, you know, I would get a dark enough imprint without getting a hole punched on, you know, my periods and commas and hyphens and.
Yeah,
that eccentric nut is a great method for adjustment that they, you know, devised.
Yeah, I think my collection is getting to a point where I have several really good typers that don't need anything other than a spit shine. So it's like, do I really want to spend the time fixing the ones that don't work, or do I want to actually type? So I'm leaning towards typing.
Oh, but you want to fix.
I know.
I have an SG1 that does the same thing, meaning it punches not quite all the way. It does. I can feel the text on the back of a sheet of paper, and that's even with 2 sheets of paper.
Yeah. Yeah, my Royal FPE was cutting through several sheets. I think I put like 5 or 6 sheets, and it cut through every single one.
Wow.
It was crazy.
There. Oh boy, I had to adjust this one way out.
Oh wow.
That's because I put a shrink wrap tube on the platen for fresh rubber purposes.
Yes.
But that adds you know, a little over 1 millimeter to the diameter of the platen. So that of course threw the ring and cylinder way off.
Yeah.
And that's going to throw off the motion, right? And all that.
I don't know with these SM3s because they have an eccentric nut instead of you actually having to move the entire carriage back and forth. I don't know that it's going to mess with the ring, the on feet in motion. But if it does, then I know how to adjust that too. So it's not.
And I know a guy that has the manuals.
Right.
Can you share this secret source with us?
Yes.
Oh man,
just put it in the chat.
My need to order the 5 series manual just increased. I got this guy this past week. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
The desert sand variation. So this is what I guess it's funny because I just written a blog post about how I don't consider myself a collector, and now I went and bought a machine that it's no different from the other Silent Super that I have, other than the color, you know, and the year model. So I crossed that threshold. I was really fond of the desert sand.
William is showing his.
William has a nice one.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes.
You can flush all that desert sand out of that typewriter with an air compressor, of course.
Oh, Joe.
I'm here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
All night long.
Try the veal. Try the veal.
I don't know if you can see this.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
That's a typeface.
Oh, very nice.
What? Can't see.
Oh.
The typeface, that is amazing.
Script
On Williams camera. What is it? See if we can expand it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, upright
Really
script.
interesting cursive. Yeah, upright script. What machine?
That's
is that?
wonderful.
Oh, that's unique.
That's
Oh, is that your desert sand machine?
that's the ID cards I make for all my machines.
Oh,
Nice.
Very
I need to
nice.
do that. Very nice.
Oh, I like the way you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, doing it on an index card.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what Sarah does.
And
She-
when we talk about how to pronounce Joao's name, that made me think of this book. Where are we? Where's my feed? There we are. Now,
Oh, how cool!
now,
Oh,
are you
wow. Quirky, quirky.
are you people reading this backwards, or is it just me?
It
It's
reads
just you,
correctly.
right? Yes.
It reads
Okay.
correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Because on my screen, it's just like mirror writing.
Yeah, there's a setting for that in the settings for Zoom. You can mirror it or not, but yeah. Oh,
But it
that's
will
cool.
always come through forward. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, fair enough.
I had to look.
And my Christmas present this year from my lovely wife was a handy little gizmo.
Ooh,
Oh.
barometer.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you use that on the
Very
platens?
nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's interesting. I had a couple of platens renewed by J.G. Short about a year ago or so. And when I got this little meter, I did some hardness checks on them and emailed Peter Short and told him the numbers that I found. And this meter read a new platen from J.G. Short at Shaw A92.
Mhm.
And Peter was saying that the manufacturer specifications of the plant material is actually 88 to 90.
Yep.
So I said to Peter, I'd be more inclined to trust his professional and commercial material specifications than a little Chinese-made durometer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So William, I have a durometer. This is a Shore D range durometer. Let me focus here, and it has the little needle type point on it.
Yeah.
And if you look at the manual here, they recommend for different hardnesses and uses. So, like the A type, the cone, the flat cone is for rubber. And what I'm using is the sharp cone, which is more for hard rubber and plastic. So I think what I really need is this one, this type of tip that has this cone type thing, a flat cone. And that might be the difference between yours and Peter Short's is the tip on that durometer. And also mine has an adjustment, the button up here, if you unscrew this, there's a set screw that you can adjust the calibration of that. And according to the manual, you adjust it on a piece of glass. A piece of glass should measure 100 on the Shore reading. So
a piece of glass should read 100 on any reading because it has zero give.
Right. So so I'm thinking what I need is one with a flat conical tip that would be probably better for soft rubber. So
your Short D. I've got the reference scale somewhere. Shaw A100 is about Shaw D60, I think.
Okay.
About there somewhere. Chances are someone with more technical know-how than me would be able to give you much more accurate figures. But a person could conceivably use a Shaw D durometer for testing typewriter platen hardness. It's just that with the conical point, you may end up with a tiny pinhole in the surface of the platen.
Right, you do. It actually does that. Yeah.
Because I have on another Series 5 Corona, Smith Corona, the platen does actually read 100 on this meter. So I know that it's definitely hard, too hard.
Yeah, rock hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yes.
Excellent.
I have something to share.
Oh, excellent. Go right ahead.
Awesome. Yeah.
Something new has been added.
Oh.
A cat and a fox sitting inside my each.
It is a
know.
fox number 3.
Fox.
I didn't know cats and foxes got along together.
Cat and the fox.
So, Diane, is this a understrike typewriter?
It is.
Oh my goodness.
You can see the basket is here and the keys are hanging down. But it has a couple of keys with issues. The W and the Z are disconnected under there, and we'll have to see what we can do with that.
You don't need the Z anyway.
Yeah, is the Z key missing?
The W is also bad, but I guess it's sitting kind of wonky compared to everything
Z is
else.
down. I see. The
The
Z
Z is down, and the W
you won't be able to type the word Zweiback as in those crackers for babies. You won't be able to type that.
No. It's like if I can see what I'm doing, which I can't. I can lift the Z. It's disconnected way in the back where you really can't see anything without a flashlight. And the W is in the same state. But it's next to a perfectly functional SM4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
I can't even do this. I can't even move I can't do anything with it because the platinum feed rollers are rock hard, obviously. So it's not advancing at all. So it was a local Craigslist thing, and actually it turns out that the guy had posted on the Facebook forum asking about it, and I didn't see that, and I just happened to come across it. So it was an easy acquire, at least. I mean,
that's good.
We met at a local Quick Trip, and he was on his way to work at the local steel mill, and I just went down there for a lunch break and
nice
picked up a typewriter.
Very good.
It's very interesting.
Now, is that something you're going to take to your typewriter guy?
I'm not sure. I probably not, because I have a lot of machines over there right now, and I have one that my mom actually needs me to take over there and get fixed. And I would like to collect a few of mine. It's like I'm trying to not bug them at the moment.
Yeah.
So
regardless, it's a nice find.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice.
I don't have a picture of it on the database, but I put the serial number on there, and I forget what year it is, and it's the earliest one out there, though.
Really? Yeah. Well, with the right-hand carriage return, that's the I think that the carriage return shifted from right to left in about 1900. Am I close?
It sounds right.
I think it's somewhere around there. I don't remember.
Wow, very nice.
I always admire you, Diane, with your interest in early typewriters, like your Smith Premiers and all that. Those are cool.
I'm always intimidated by the really old ones.
Yeah, me too.
They're beautiful
me too.
to look at, though.
Oh,
yeah, that's amazing.
I will bring mine downstairs next week to show you what I.
Oh, very good, very good.
Too heavy to go get right now.
Yeah.
But I will. I'll have that. I'll bring it down for next week. It's a 1920 something, I think. So
oh my goodness.
L.C. Smith and Brothers.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I put it in the database, but I think I put 190X because I don't remember what the date was. So.
Okay.
Very good. I think the oldest typewriter I have is probably my 1936 Imperial Good Companion, and that's as far back as I go.
My oldest is an 1889 Smith Premier 1, and that's just because that's the only year that's the only year that's mentioned on the database for those. It's just 1889, and
that's all we know.
Yeah,
and that's all you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I ran into that with this senior companion. There was only one in the typewriter database, But mine is, I think, a full 200 numbers after that one. So I'm guessing, would that be like?
You're doing it wrong. You know why?
Why?
Because that's just an A-frame Royal, so you should use the ageless for the Royal Quad Deluxe.
Okay.
So if you're looking at the pictures and trying to, match yours up against another machine that's in the database, that's not the right way to go about it. You can look at the age list and compare your serial number against the age list.
Okay. I'll go back and do that. I like to look at the pictures.
Well, I know that's why I put them so you could look at the pictures, but that's not how you date a typewriter. Unless it's one that we don't have any age list information for. Then you can actually go back and see what other people have said about them and date it that way. That's a secondary. That's a secondary process.
Yes. Okay.
It's not the primary.
I like having I think I have one Smith Premier 6. That's the only one on there, and I posted Herman's Smith Premier 9 just because there weren't any on there, and there's so few of those in existence to begin with.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could get Herman's whole collection on there.
Well, that's just deciding, mind you. The Smith Premier 6 really is mine, and he has the other one that I know of. I don't know of any others as far as that model goes.
Yeah, it's kind of rare.
So David from Austin Typewriter Inc. He recently posted on Facebook. He did a tally or an inventory of his typewriters. And I think it was like around 300.
Yeah, 277 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
might
goodness.
be an old number. But yeah, we'll be seeing his machines on the typewriter database pretty soon.
Yeah, because I guess
that'll be good.
Over 3 weeks, they went and collected all the information for each one, and it's just a matter of putting them on the typewriter database. So that's pretty awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
I have a question for Bob. Is Bob still here? Bob Marshall?
He's
he's muted.
He's muted and blanked out.
Oh,
because he had mentioned that he had done an interview with Joe for the Typewriter, the Austin Typewriter Inc. podcast, and I was wondering where that is. I still haven't seen it. I've been waiting for it to come out.
Yeah, me too.
They're backlog.
Yeah, David has a lot of episodes in the can that he has not released.
Yeah.
So, and I think Bob was a little frustrated that the episode hasn't been released yet, but it's David's show, so
give him a chance.
Yeah,
get to it.
But I'm looking forward to listen to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Me too. I want to see what he leaves in the interview and takes out.
Oh. I'm sure he'll leave in all the good bits.
All the good bits.
He'll take out the ums and the ahs.
Ums and the ahs, exactly.
Oh.
I'm going to go make some coffee. I'm going to go mute myself and make coffee.
All right, definitely. I'm going to take this opportunity to show... let me see. Where am I? Oh. Okay, there we go. Woo! All right, while Joe has stepped away, I'm going to secretly show you his signature.
Oh,
isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm. Joe Van Allen. I see.
Yes.
I only had his first name on this one, so.
Yeah, see, I was so shocked that I had his whole signature because he always either just puts Joe or even JVC. And so I saw that and was like, ooh, and he did it with his fountain pen. And I think that I forget the name of the ink that he kept talking about.
Oxblood?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. I love that color.
I've got that inked up in my TWSBI Diamond 580 right now. It looks like a little vial of blood.
Yeah. There's the front there.
Just a note. Oh, how cute.
Yeah. And since I have the screen here for Joao, We have this is California
Oh, you said
Bicentennial, 1769 to 1969. I bought these on my own, but he infected me with the bug.
We all do
So-
that, don't we?
Yeah. So, and I don't
That's
know
very
why,
nice.
but I find myself very drawn to bronze. So, like, I guess a lot of people would go for gold or silver, but when I look at the three colors side by side, to me, the most attractive is bronze.
I
There's just
agree.
something about it.
Bronze
I'm a
always
silver.
gets the
It is
richest
pretty.
patina to it.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Richer color.
Yeah. Now, the really impressive one is this one here. And it's kind of funny because this actually came from Portugal. So so this is the nativity, and you see there's five scenes from the nativity in there, and you can see that's
beautifully made.
it's big. So
Wow.
yeah, and then there's this side.
Perhaps our friend Bernardo had a hand in making those.
I know, huh?
Well,
Very
not
nice.
those particular ones, but
Yeah, I absolutely love this.
For 2019, I did a nativity themed one.
Oh, okay.
But it's a tiny one.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Yeah, this
see.
is large.
Yeah, you got all the makings of a Texas belt buckle there, Gregory.
I know. Oh, that's true. That is true. Oh man. Yeah. So, and then I have it's not like an Olympic medal, but it's Olympic commemorative medal. That one's on the way. So, and I think that one's also bronze. I didn't get the gold medal. But
Hey,
yeah,
you didn't have to earn any of them.
I know, exactly. Yeah. But yeah,
you had to
I got
earn the money to
infected-
buy them with, though. So
Well,
you
True. But yeah, I got infected with the Bernardo. Several episodes ago, Bernardo was showing several medals, and it just brought back my coin collecting days from my youth. And I actually learned that collecting medals as opposed to collecting coins is called exonumia. So medals
I'm
and
preaching
tokens.
for that, you know.
Now, Bernardo, since you're an expert, should I only be handling these with like cotton gloves, or does it matter?
Well, I'm not really an archivist.
Okay.
I work more on the making side. I do have a small collection. I just, the original purpose of the medals were to be held in hand, to be passed on. It was a means of communication, so they're supposed to be held on your hand and to be admired and seen from up close, and to put in your pocket and carry them with you.
Yeah,
that's the whole purpose of them. So use it away.
All right, yeah. And they feel
just like
amazing in the
typewriters,
hand.
Just
it's nice and heavy.
Exactly.
Yes,
just like
yes.
typewriters. Use them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful.
We are blessed in many ways to have these machines in operable condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And relatively not too expensive.
Yeah.
For
I do have a silver one. I don't have a gold one, but I have a silver one, and it's considerably heavier than the bronze ones.
Ah, okay.
This one is commemorative of a bridge, and on the obverse there's a male figure symbolizing a bridge between the two sides, and on the other side we have the actual bridge.
Oh,
wow!
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I have another material I can show you. This is lead.
Oh.
This is not the actual medal. This is a test from the striking of the medal. They strike it in lead because it's a cheaper material.
So the artist can check if everything's okay, and then they strike it in bronze or silver. So that's an interesting. Yeah, there's nothing on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
On the bronze ones, they would later cut this off and polish it. So this is an interesting midway in the process.
Yeah, definitely. That's very cool.
Almost like an artist's proof.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the old saying is, if you learn something new, it's worth getting up. It was well worth my getting up this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Bernardo, that's a wonderful lesson. Thank you.
No, you're quite welcome.
I see Joe is back.
It's my pleasure.
I did learn something a short while ago, is that brass is a specific alloy of bronze. Bronze is any metal consisting of copper and an alloying element. Brass is a specific ratio of copper to zinc.
Zinc, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually infatuated with brass pens right now. So I have one that has the tarnish on it, or the patina, and then I have another one that is actually coated in black. So, but yeah.
I like brass. Brass is a great material to work with if you like to make things, because it'll machine a lot like wood does, like drilling it and cutting it, and it's easy to cut. And they make clockwork mechanisms all out of brass because it's self-lubricating. It doesn't need oil.
Soft. That's why.
Yes, I got a old mechanical parking meter from my brother-in-law in Arizona a few years ago, and it takes pennies, nickels, and dimes. And it's currently out on the side of my driveway in my front yard. But I had to get the lock changed by a locksmith to get a key in it, for the coin box. And when he drilled through it, he went through too far and hit the brass clockwork. But all it did is it moved the mainspring off the shaft a little bit, and I was able to fix it. But it's self-lubricating, so even in super cold, freezing weather, it'll still work.
Nice. So. Joe, while you stepped away, I did show your signature.
Oh, my Joe Van Cleve signature, world famous signature.
What, was this the oxblood?
Yes, it was. In fact, it was. Okay. I think the Twisby.
Yeah. That's a lovely color.
It's not actually. It's what is it? It's called Copper Noir, I believe. Let's see. Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe I'm. Oh, there's. Okay, it is the diamine. Ancient copper. Diamine ancient copper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that ink.
Yeah, I actually just got a really interesting fountain pen ink that I would like to share.
Yeah, definitely.
It's called Walden. Actually, I gotta go get the pen, but it's called Walden Pond. It's from Organic Studios, and it's by it's for their writers series. They have one for Ralph Waldo Emerson and I believe a few others. But
is it algae colored? Algae colored?
Yeah, it's like
blue green kind of.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about it is how much it sheens, and it's like absurd how much it sheens. So I don't know how well it's gonna pick up on the camera, but like first it's green, and then like it turns red, like when you turn it. Do you see that?
I think I see a hint of the color change.
Oh, yeah, like it from here.
Red, like when you in the light, and it's like shiny.
Yeah.
Let me open my window a little bit more.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I see the W. It kind of does that effect. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hard to see on the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Now.
Oh, we got a hint of it. Yeah, I saw the red.
Yeah. It's like, it's really interesting to look at.
Wow.
And it kind of like changes colors before your eyes as you write it.
Yeah. I know there's a
it's a writer series.
There's a channel on YouTube.
There you go.
I forget what the channel is called, but she loves playing with inks. She'll like just spill them on a page and move the page around, and you can kind of see how the ink is reacting and all the sheen and all that. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have it in my Moonman S3, which is a Chinese pen brand, but it's I really like this pen a lot, actually. It's not very expensive. I think it was like $20.
Yeah. I for Christmas I got my first Moonman, so
yeah, I love the Moonman pens, actually. There's one here that I have that came with a Bach nib that writes really, really well. It's actually it's made to look like the Leonardo Momento Zero pens, I think. And actually, I didn't know that anything about the Leonardo pen manufacturer before I got this pen. But basically, it's kind of a knockoff, but it writes really well, and I really like it a lot. It's really light in the hand. It posts really well. It's got a really nice big nib.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So it's a really nice pen, and it has a blind cap too on the back. That you can kind of access the converter a little bit, so that you don't have to take the section off when you fill up. So it just kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Very nice.
Speaking of fountain pens, when I went to school, the school rules were all work had to be done in what is called fountain or cartridge pen. The difference between a fountain pen and cartridge pen in England, the cartridge pen, the ink comes in little cartridges, and a fountain pen you have to actually fill from a bottle. It seems that over here, any nib pen is called a fountain pen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my friend Ethan last week about whether you should post the cap on a fountain pen. And we kind of decided it depends on the weight of the pen. But for instance, on this TWSBI here, it's a heavy pen, right? Even without the cap on, it's long enough to write properly. And if you post the cap on it, it actually is back heavy. It wants to kind of fall back. And so I think we decided that, like, I used to cap the post all the time on this pen just because I thought you had to. That's the proper way to use a fountain pen. But I really think now I'm a little more selective about whether I cap it or not. And this one, I'm kind of used to just holding the cap in my other hand and just writing without it now. But
yeah,
I don't know how you guys.
You don't really want to post the TWSBIs either, because I've heard that some people's have cracked.
The back.
They weren't really. Yeah, they weren't really designed to be posted.
Right. Right.
Gotta be careful with that.
Yep.
That model that you have, Joe, I think that's the one that if you do post it, it might stick on the end and turn that.
It could turn the little plunger mechanism. Yeah, there is a locking ring. This little chrome ring is supposed to be the locking ring, but there's still a little play in it. Yeah. So I think it was William maybe that mentioned a while ago about his index cards and typing his typewriter stuff on. And I was just noticing that most of the all the index cards I have around the office here are 1/4 inch spaced lines, right? And most typewriters are 6 lines per inch. And so this is another project that I'll probably do a video on, maybe it's a blog article, but making your own lined index cards with your typewriter, with your underscore feature, and then you can type between the lines on the typewriter because they're 6 lines per inch spaced, right? Or maybe do them 3 lines per inch with the typewriter, and you have more room between the lines. But anyways,
now as far as it goes, I actually had my wife print these cards on an inkjet printer. We worked on designing them together because this one, if you notice, has a much larger space between the top and the red line than most cards do. and the lines are spaced specifically for typewriter. And so we print these off in white cardstock, 4 to a sheet. I cut them up, and they work perfectly.
I'll have to do that with my laser printer. That'll be another option. Yeah, good idea.
Well, yeah. My laser printer only prints black.
Yeah, mine does too, but it's cheap and quick.
Okay.
You could always make the lines gray.
Yes, that's true.
Or if you did the lines with your typewriter, you could do the top line with the red.
Exactly.
If you have a red and blue one, you could make it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes,
exactly
that's right.
Like an index card.
Well, that'll be like another thematic thing from the calendar video I did last week. Is index cards. Can Joe make an entire video about index cards and not make it boring?
How to make index cards lines the hard way.
It'd be like a 2-minute video. 2-minute video. Put the card in the machine. Do lines. Done.
You use the little pencil guide holes and
that's right.
You could use any color you want.
That's true.
Draw the lines through the.
Yeah, that's actually a better idea. Yeah, that's a better idea, actually. Yeah.
The one thing to be aware of is that the width of an index card, 2 cards, is wider than 8.5 inches. So if you're going to be doing it on typewriter, you need a 12-inch platen so you can put the card in landscape.
There you go. That's right.
That's true.
Right.
The Smith Corona Galaxy 12 comes into play there.
I actually have a Smith Corona Classic 12.
Yeah, that's one I have.
And the cursive type on it, which is kind of neat.
Nice.
Yes, I have one of those too.
Nice.
And when I got the machine, I got it for parts repair because the escapement was constantly skipping. Well, when I took it to pieces, there was literally 1/2-inch thick layer of eraser shavings. Through everything. But clean up nicely now. The machine still skips an occasional space now and then, especially when you're not expecting it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But my feeling is that if you want a word perfect, grammatically perfect, correct document void of any feelings or emotions, do it on a computer. If you want to type a letter where your feelings and emotions come through and your personality comes through, as well as mistakes, if you are a typist and enjoy exchanging letters, you learn to embrace these little nuances as personality of the typist and the typewriter itself.
That's true.
Right.
Like I tell my niece and my cousin's children, if they want to type me letters or write me letters, I would much sooner have a letter with a few spelling mistakes in it than no letter at all.
Not one at all.
Yeah.
Whereas my stepmother was, she was a rotten old thing. Anyhow, I wrote her a few letters. I wrote her a few letters, and every letter I got back pointed out every spelling and every grammatical error in my previous letter. It became just like handing in school homework. I hated school anyway, so I just stopped writing. So she was one of the people who would sooner get no letter than a letter with mistakes in it.
Oh wow!
So, however.
Okay. You wonder what happens to people that they're like that they become that way.
Yeah.
I feel like
there was a reason, huh?
Yeah.
There's a reason. I'm sure
there's a reason that people treat people the way they do. You know, you need to find out why she acts like that.
Psychology, yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like back in the day, having a letter that didn't have mistakes probably would have signified, that you took the time to, proofread it and type it again and make it perfect. Whereas today, I feel like, it's kind of the opposite, because when you type something, in a Word document or whatever, or in an email, you have spell check and all that, is designed to make everything absolutely perfect and kind of
it gets boring
out of it in a way. And so when you actually type something out by hand, mistakes and all, it kind of signifies that you did it in a way that was more analog, that kind of took more thought and more time. And so it kind of means the opposite now. I don't know if that makes sense to.
Yeah. Joe, you're a man after my own heart.
How's that?
My sentiment exactly.
You know, it's funny because I'm totally on board with all of that, yet I struggle incredibly with this. Gregory, you made the comment on one of my blog posts recently about my lack of typos. It's like, no, I use correct type.
Because it looked flawless. And I was like, wow.
Well, the scan doesn't really. I started originally. I was just taking a shot with my iPhone, and then it dawned on me. It's like I've got a flatbed scanner. I just started using that to lay my page down and scan it in, and then I could use the OCR, software.
That's what I do.
Instead of totally retyping everything every time. And but yeah, I still and in my case it might have been because I was a graphic designer for a number of years, and I just want things to be,
Perfect.
Well, it just, if I see the error, I want to correct it, and if I've gone all the way through the page and I've gotten it out and I notice it later, then I might mark it up with a pen, before I send it off.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the point where I can just leave the, X something out, but it's just, I'm not there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I try. And then I end up retyping the whole thing.
Hi.
So yes, talk about your flatbed scanner. What I do is every letter I type, I scan and save as a PDF. So the next letter I receive or next letter I type, I can bring up the previous PDF, so I make sure I don't repeat myself in the next letter.
Interesting. See, now I just figured that was part of the beauty of, hey, Bill's talking about this for the third time now. He must really be into this.
So I got a letter from a gentleman named Chris that lives over in Salt Lake City, and we exchanged letters, and he sent me a scanned copy of the letter that I sent him, because I had said in my letter that no, I normally don't copy my letters when I type them or use carbon paper, and he does. So he sent me a copy of my own letter back, and now I guess now I'm going to have to modify my letter writing to make copies of my letters. But I'll probably just shoot a picture on with my phone, you know what I mean, and just stick it in the cloud somewhere or whatever. So
that's what I do with my letters. I photocopy them.
I thought about doing that, but then I'm like, well, it's kind of old school to not keep a copy.
Exactly. Right.
That's how it was,
It's authentic to just like toss it into the ether and see what happens, see if it catches.
And you don't really remember what you wrote 2 months ago to the person, so you'll probably end up repeating some story you tell them. I can't remember if I told you this story or not, but I'm going to talk to you again.
I figure it's just like me in real life. They're just getting the real me that way.
Exactly. It's authentic.
Here's where I have to almost call Greg out to say that keeping copy wasn't old school. Actually, it was. When I was a young kid, back in the mid-'60s, my mum did a lot of typing. In would go a sheet of backing paper,
carbon
paper, and a sheet of typing paper. So she had she had a carbon copy of every letter she typed, and they went in files. And so next time she got a letter, she could pull a carbon copy out and make sure she didn't. So keeping carbon copy was actually correct in old school.
Okay. I forget to do that. I always forget.
Gentler on the platen too, right?
There we go. Yeah.
And so that's where I feel doing a PDF scan is so much nicer, because I like to type in colored ink. As I got blue, purple, green, brown, orange, all those colors. Yeah. And a color PDF scan captures those colors nicely. Yeah. And then if I need to do a reprint, I just put it on a jump drive, bring it up to my wife, or email it. She can print it off on the HP Office Pro, which is an color inkjet, and come out in color just the same.
Yeah.
Or
that's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate the thought actually very much, William, and it's interesting because I just last week I started thinking about keeping just a record of the letters. Last year when I started in on all this, I probably averaged a letter a day, and that's like probably a page and a half on average, and I sent all these letters off, and I couldn't remember who I typed when last. And honestly, when I type, it's therapy, and I'm mostly doing it for my own benefit. And hopefully the people on the other end aren't just throwing the letter out, but I keep typing anyway, And but to keep a record of everything that I've actually typed and when I send it out, that would probably be a good thing for me to do. And so your whole concept of scanning the content in and keeping track of it that way, I could look into that too. So I thanks for the thought.
I do have to jump in here real quick and first of all point out that we have 16 people on screen and 13 people watching, which is totally a new record. Yeah.
Wow. I better watch my language.
I know. And then
I better be a good girl now.
Yeah.
The other thing is I want to welcome back Alton Gansky.
Hey!
Yay!
Another great video producer.
How have you been?
Yes.
Let me unmute here.
Oh, hi there.
There we go.
Hey,
I've been doing well.
you?
Been doing
Good.
a bunch of stuff. Got to go out to Central Coast, California to celebrate my 48th wedding anniversary to my wife. And
Congrats. Yeah.
Decided to maybe give another year a try. See what happens.
Cool.
See how that works out.
Yeah, she's
like
sure
her?
it's going to work out, but 48
like her all
years,
right?
and I'm hoping to live long enough to
Is
see
it-
the 50th. And
Is it still a trial basis?
You're warming up to her.
Yeah.
she would
Hanging
tell
out
you,
with the
yes, I am a
ex-girlfriend.
trial.
Or would she say she's been putting up with you for 48 years?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Sainthood there.
Congratulations. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
What's the secret?
Yeah, tell us all.
That's what I want to know.
We live in separate houses.
Real?
Write that down. Let me type that.
Separate houses.
No, it's not much of a secret. It's just probably one of the biggest secrets is there's very few things worth arguing about.
That's
Move
true.
on.
It's true.
Yeah, pick your battles.
Yeah. There's an old saying in the Marine Corps: "Is this the hill you want to die on?"
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that one.
And if both parties give 110%, it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
The
My
secret
parents
is
were-
staying married every day, one day at a time.
Yeah.
My parents were married for 68 and a half years when Dad passed away back in November.
Well, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
I knew a couple had been married over 60 years, and I asked the wife one time, I was speaking, and I asked her, I said, "She's been married 60 years?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, do you ever think of divorce?" And she said, "No, murder, never divorce."
Yeah, divorce isn't final enough.
So in the comments we have Jorge watching from Guatemala.
Hey, Jorge.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we have Christopher McKellar.
Hey, there he is.
And
Hey, Chris.
Jeff.
That's your letter.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of activity going on. So that's great. Yeah.
I was going to jump in here real quick and just say that my correspondence with Pen Pals is I got this old binder. I was waiting for an eye exam, and the gal in the eye place was throwing out a bunch of 3-ring binders, so I grabbed some. But I have these alphabetical tabs, and I keep everybody's letter by alphabet, and I write on the letter if I responded to them. But it's sort of the system that I don't really.
That's awesome.
I don't really have. I'd have to double this to have a record of a copy of every letter I wrote back, right? So that's the problem with it.
How many people are you writing to, Joe? How many people?
A couple dozen, probably. I think.
Yeah.
I have
mean,
this
Joe,
one.
you're going to be. I was going to say, you're like the most desired administrative assistant now in America.
Hey, maybe that's another career path.
Because keeping it that way and then marking that you responded is one of the things they tell you to do. That's awesome.
Well, another one of my recent pen pals is a young kid from California, and he was the one that was writing me, asking me if I could give him a typewriter, but he already had eight typewriters because he was telling me in his other letters that he was the one that I made up the Olivetti's ribbon for and sent it to him because he said my Olivetti's ribbon is bad. And anyways, it's fun to get letters from him. He's funny.
That's great.
I
really need another typewriter.
Yes, that's right.
I only have 8, Joe.
It's a cult. It's not a groupie. It's a cult.
A cult. Okay. Can I have a typewriter, Joe?
Yeah, I'll give you a typewriter. Okay.
No, I don't need one. I don't need one. When you guys were talking about keeping track of your letters, I send a lot of cards. So I have I have my traveler's notebook here with my little inserts, and I will go ahead and write down, like, if I have a Sheriff Ian is one of them. So if whoever I sent that to, I write down all the names. So when I go to make another card, I'm like, well, I need to make them a card. Maybe I'm going to use this. And then I go, oh, no, I already sent him that one. So then I have to keep a log because I send out cards like pretty much every holiday or everybody's birthdays. I'm always doing stuff. So it does help because I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to remember what I sent them. I don't need to write that down. And the next year I'm like, oh crap, what did I send her last year? I don't know. It does help to keep track of something, some kind of order.
That's a good system.
I believe February is National Correspondence Month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Joe, I have a...
Go ahead.
I was going to say I have a similar notebook for letters from a particular friend years and years ago. And when I went back and decided to sort of archive them, I used the clear sheet protectors because a lot of the pages are small. I didn't want to poke holes in them because he used to do artwork and things, and his writing was very tiny. So I have it. Each letter is actually in its own sheet protector in that notebook, but that's only for him.
That's cool. I have a smaller 3-ring binder that I have a series of letters from my brother, my oldest brother. Now, here's the funny story. I gave him a Remington quiet writer about 5 years ago because he was making noises about wanting to have a typewriter. He lives 2 blocks from me. And I wanted him to start using the damn typewriter, so I started mailing letters to him. And we went on like this for about a year. and I would even include stamps in my letter, so he wouldn't have to buy stamps.
That is so cool.
So I have all that.
That reminds me of 2 stories I've heard of a guy that was writing letters to his wife from his office. Like, it was just this very romantic, sweet thing. He was typing a letter each day to his wife from his actual office and mailing it to their home. So that was one. Cool. Isn't that sweet? And then the other one was the guy who wrote the Born a Crime or something like that. I can't remember his name. He's a famous guy from South Africa. Said that his mother was a typist or had learned to type when he was growing up. And she would write these or type these letters to him about how he should do his housework and stuff. And so then he would write these very officious responses that were very formal to his mother. And it was pretty funny. So they would actually type back and forth within the house letters to each other.
Kind of like texting back and forth.
Yeah. Like, dear sir, I've received your request to take out the garbage. However, our budget does not allow for it at this time. I appreciate your consideration,
That's
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Earlier on, we were talking about therapeutic typing. After my dad died in 2016, I just didn't know what to do with all the emotions and feelings and everything I had. So I just sat down and typed probably 15 pages of thoughts and emotions and everything, and those just went in a file. So by typing them out, you can release them from your head, you can let go of them, and clear your mind out because you now know that all those thoughts and memories are safe somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. That's a magical thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm such a mess right now. I haven't been typing enough lately. getting out all the junk. No, hit it.
It does help.
But I think it's true. Like during the early part of the pandemic, I was writing every day, just dumping all kinds of stuff and sticking it in a notebook. And I think it really is therapeutic, like you're saying, especially if you go through a trauma like that, to be able to let it go and have it saved somewhere. It's reassuring.
Yeah. That's a good thought. Now, I just come up with an idea when you were talking about that, Sarah, is we need to take our fountain pens or whatever your favorite writing instrument is. We're going to call it Pandemic. Oh, it's pandemic. We're having
Pandemic.
a pandemic.
Everyone get your fountain.
Wait a minute here. How do I sign out of this?
Joe, you're such a wordsmith. I love it.
Yeah. This is the cult of Van Cleve.
Cult of Van Cleve.
Somebody's plugged a nickel in Joe today for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
He's plugged into the 110 all night long, charging.
It's it must be the second cup of coffee. I think that's it.
Oh, that'll do it every time. Well, I do have your letter here, Joe. So I did save it. Yeah, the problem with me is I'm really sentimental and I can't throw away letters from friends. So don't worry, there's always a copy. And a friend here was talking about how they don't like to have mistakes. I decided that in my response to you, I would go ahead and let it have lots of mistakes. I would use the typewriter that had the worst platen. And I typed on both sides. So when you get it, you'll hold it up to the light and you'll see all these little holes. And I also didn't really proof it. I just wrote stream of consciousness. So it may say, I may sound like a complete crazy person, but I thought, you know what? If anybody can handle it, Joe Van Cleve can handle it. So
I'll tell my wife, I got another letter from the crazy lady.
From the loquacious
The crazy
lunatic.
cat lady.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I love those kind of letters, right?
Oh,
Really, I love that kind of writing, actually.
oh, thank you. Well, it's risky, but there it is. I figured, why not? What the heck?
I learned that from you, Joe. Stream.
Hey, now that Bob's back, I
Yes.
have a question, comment. Bob, you stated in the past that you play guitar, and I'm curious, have you experienced days where none of your guitars feel right? You know, they don't either feel right or respond right, or something along those lines?
Time to buy a new guitar.
Yeah.
Well, so what I'm driving at here is I have a few different acoustic guitars, and I've had many days in the past where I'll sit down to play and just none of the guitars feel right to me, and I won't play fluidly, or well, that's pretty common for me, but just they don't feel the way I want. And so a few days ago I sat down just to type, and it was the same story with my multiple typewriters. It's like, no, I'm making errors, and I tried a different machine, same story, and it's like there are some days where I'm just off, and
I think that's very real. Absolutely.
Music block, writer's block. It's part of the creative process.
I go through that.
They're better than others.
Yeah, I agree with Dan. Some days our days are off in so many other elements too. Like you just feel like nothing goes well. You start dropping stuff all the time and bumping into things, whatever.
I've typed a couple of paragraphs so bad, I just get up and I'm like, not today.
You're just like,
not happening today.
And
then the next day I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never the typewriter. It's the meat bag sitting behind it.
The meat
Exactly.
Well, my advice to you, Bill, is when you get that feeling, that's when you know it's time to buy a new guitar.
Gregory.
See, now what I need to do is
enabling him.
if my typing's gone haywire, I'll just go play guitar instead, and vice versa.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
but it was just funny
good.
because that was the first time. It's quite common for me with the guitar over the years, but it was the first time that I'd experienced that with typing. And I mean, I was just way off. I couldn't get more than a few words without typo, and and it was just I just what Dan was saying. I just quit. You know, it's like, all right, I'm just not going to
Instead
type
of
right
getting
now.
frustrated,
You know,
yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I have a favorite typewriter that I like to use for stream of consciousness, and when I purposely don't want to worry about corrections, right? Is my Smith Corona Silent Super, the one that you've heard the story, I'm sure, that it was a grungy typewriter, and it took me a long time of working on it to get the issues ironed out. And in the process of doing that, I did a lot of test typing to iron out these intermittent skipping issues. And I discovered that the 12 character per inch Elite typeface works really well for me for stream of consciousness. So that typewriter is sort of like the go-to machine that kind of gives me permission to make mistakes, not worry about anything, just to get it down on paper. You know, like I think this Olympia here kind of demands that I write everything perfectly because of the precision of the, you know, it's sort of, it's sort of telling you in a heavy German accent, you know, you will type it accurately every time, you know. Sorry about that. That's a stereotype. I'm sorry about that. Schnell. Yeah. And now the thought going through my mind is Hogan's Heroes, but we won't get into that. But anyways, but the Smith Corona, because it started out in my, you know, in my existence as a really beat up machine, it has that pedigree to me in my mind that it gives me permission to write that way. And maybe
Probably the patchouli oil, Joe. All the
it's that it. That's it. or the mold spores are psychedelic.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But anyway, you need maybe one of your typewriters that'll give you that kind of permission. You know, that's
a good idea. Yeah.
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 Good
I do have to.
Yeah.
I do have to jump in here real quick again. I see in the comments we have an ink guy. He's one of my favorite YouTube channels. He does these in-depth reviews and analyses of fountain pen inks. He has a fantastic channel.
Him yesterday.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. An ink guy.
What's his name?
An ink guy.
Really, just an ink guy.
Yeah.
That's
ink is his middle name.
Yes.
Joe.
So definitely check out his name. Hopefully he's still watching, but
I think you
last
pronounce
name
that
Guy,
Guy.
first name Ann.
Guy, yes.
Ink guy.
An ink guy.
Yeah, so he
that's
has a
cool.
great channel. Great channel.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, so I was excited to see him in the comments just now.
Yeah.
Of course, it took me a moment to notice it, but again, that was a nice thing about StreamYard. You know, all the YouTube comments would go right on here, and it was much better that way. But
that's
we have to
true.
have a stream that actually works, though. So
Yeah.
Nice. Yes.
Trade-offs.
Yeah. And you know, I'll take that trade-off every day. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
Gregory, I'm curious to know if you had any more signups for your newsletter for Typewriter
Oh shoot!
Club.
I need to sign up for that.
Yes.
I signed up.
Oh, very good.
good job.
Very good.
I think
Oh, you see my dog there.
Oh yeah, it's so cute.
I saw that. Yeah.
His little face. Aw.
That's little Agatha.
Aw,
I think
Agatha
I signed up for it.
Darling.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, you can always go to newsletter.typepals.com and sign up. And I assume if you're already signed up, it'll say, hey, you already signed up. But anyway, I think I got a few more signups. So I need to put out the first issue. And I have all the addresses, so we're going to have those in there. And then probably just a few other things. I want to try and keep it on the short side. So
Gregory, I hope
yes.
it's going to be typed, scanned, and
Yes.
then
That's the only way you can do it.
In triplicate.
It has to be
In
typed.
triplicate.
That's right. Each one has to be typed individually. Yes, of course.
Yes. Flawlessly.
So an ink guy, he's still watching. He says, I am watching. I have a long love of typewriters. So very cool.
Very cool.
So sometime we need to get him on the camera. So
Yes.
yeah, very cool.
Right. Pen
And
typewriter.
the fountain pens also have something similar to this, and perhaps that was part of the inspiration of this. So yeah, maybe we'll get him on here sometime.
That would be awesome.
He can talk to us about.
I think one commonality between fountain pens and typewriters is you can use both of them to get your fingers dirty with ink. Changing the ribbon, or messing with cleaning fountain pens.
Yeah.
Being left-handed.
Sailor.
And it's interesting. You'll quite often find people who are interested in
1911 large here.
Oh.
Quite often you'll find
really nice
people who are interested in typewriters are usually interested in fountain pens and vice versa.
Mhm.
And manual photography cameras quite often fall into the same interest category as typewriters.
We don't know anybody like that.
We are such nerds. We love anything
Actually,
that makes noise.
Here's a project that do you remember the high school teacher in Phoenix that was on Ted? You know the guy,
Ryan Adney.
Ryan Adney. Okay, when Ryan's teaching job took him from teaching English, he was the guy that had all the typewriters in the classroom, and that CBS television, I think it was 60 Minute Story or whatever, CBS morning program that a few years ago that had the typewriter revival. Okay, he was on there. Well, he went to another teaching position and he was making 3D print or laser cut pinhole cameras. So this is Ryan Adney's pinhole camera design that he sent me one of a few years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, pretty cool thing. So anyways, that was a little, someone mentioned photography and there's a commonality there between photography and typewriters.
It really is. Yeah.
Very good.
So who wants to hear about my adventures in rubber this week?
Yeah,
I do.
definitely.
I do.
I do.
Well, okay. The thing that I was building last week, the feet, I finally have the cast versions.
Nice.
And this was the mold that I used. Let's see if I can get that on camera. There we go.
Let me making that, yes.
And there's my, every time there's the inside.
I'm getting
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
You have to make it
Wow.
first. And
How the holes are made.
That is
And
awesome.
This was originally a mold for 4 different feet at the same time. But my stuff was a little old and it kind of didn't cure correctly on the other side. So I have half a mold. That's why all these nails are sticking out of the other half.
Wow.
But anyway, I molded those and this is what it looks like when it's installed.
Oh, cool.
Nice thick rubber feet with tread on them.
Oh, nice.
Do they have a good grip?
They have a great grip. They grip the desk like, little suction cups.
I'll buy some of those.
Oh, man.
Them a little taller, right, Ted, so that they stick out a little more.
Yeah, I can do different colors. And I made it about half an inch thicker than the stock ones, the original ones. And so they lift up the machine a little further up and also keep the bottom of the case from getting scratched.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's
awesome, that is awesome.
Very nice.
Kind of customized it a little bit. And
Are you going to make those to order, Ted?
I can.
Can we buy them from you? Because I need a set.
I was thinking about just making you a set and
okay, I'll reveal on a video. I will. We'll do it.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
That's good. That's called payola.
Yeah. Payola.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I also discovered how to make foam rubber accidentally.
Whoa.
Accidentally. These are SM3 feet that I accidentally colored with. I tried coloring it with acrylic paint in black. And I found out that reacts with the chemical reaction that causes the rubber to cure. And it actually causes so many bubbles that this is like light foam rubber.
Whoa.
So if I ever need to make like foam rubber things, I now know how.
Wow, you're a mad scientist.
He really is.
Ted, how about type R rests? The type R rests, you can make foam rubber.
There you go.
I just used yoga mats for that though.
Okay.
Nice and soft.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good idea too. Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
When
Yes.
Ted's done. When Ted's done.
Go ahead.
On my Fox. Whoa, sorry. There's this. I'm not sure what it is actually. I'm guessing maybe it held a some sort of paper holder at one time. It's on the back side.
I do not know.
Or has anybody ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like a music stand attachment, so you can put the original up there, but it was a stand attachment box.
That would make sense.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Very
correct.
good, Bob.
Put your
Yeah.
transcript up there.
Bob's all over it.
Wow, neato.
You need to talk to Tyler Anderson. He knows everything about foxes.
Yeah, I've started talking to him about it.
Words are winged is his
Words are
blog
winged.
post.
Speaking of cameras, here's a
Ooh.
old camera. Sorry for all the stuff that's on top of it, but
Oh, that's cool. An old studio camera.
yeah,
Oh,
the
wow.
lenses are still in
Wow.
a plastic bin packed, but yeah, I have a
Thing's
few
huge.
lenses that fit that. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's an 8x10, and it's got the whole
A crank and
Ground
everything.
glass.
Wow. Oh, fun.
and
love
it will do a tilt. It'll tilt the board up or back.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. You could use that as a tripod for other things too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be ugly, but
See, that would be a great camera to do wet plate collodion in the studio portraits, right?
well,
actually
I don't
had a,
have a holder
somebody that
for it.
Wow.
It's like this holder. I can swap. I think there's a 5x7. I can swap. I can do 2 images on one sheet of 5x7 paper because this slides. Right now, I just have an 8x10 back on it. But
I knew somebody in the photography program when I was in college that did wet plate collodion for his senior thesis, and he was doing mammoth plates, which was pretty cool, like gigantic, like bigger than 8x10, like huge,
like 20x24 probably.
Yeah. Like I don't if you're familiar with like Timothy O'Sullivan, like the West photographers back in the 1800s, was doing like a similar process to that. So really cool stuff. Really difficult process.
My friend Ethan and I are going to be making some 20x24 laser cut plywood camera kits this year.
Oh,
Ethan
wow.
just got a big laser cutter machine, and we're going to be doing a camera project like that with maybe. He has an idea for a self-developing back made of laser cut acrylic plastic that you load a sheet of photo paper in, and you load it in as a film holder, and then it has a light tight pour spout that you can pour your developer and develop the negative out in the field in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Does it need to be in a dark area to do that? Would you
have to
like cover it up?
You have to load it. No, you can use operate it in sunlight, because the pour spout is like the kind of pour thing on a developing bottle, a developing tank. But last year we were playing around with using RA4 color print paper. This is the kind of paper that they use in photo labs to print C41 color negatives onto to make positive pictures, and we were loading RA4 paper in the large format cameras, and then doing a reversal process on them, so you get a direct positive one of a kind color print right out of the camera. And so we're gonna be doing this in a large 20x24 size, hopefully this year. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's a really cool. Yeah, Diane, that's a really neat camera though. Those old studio cameras are so cool, because they're like a piece of furniture. They're not just a camera,
yeah.
you know.
When she was showing it, I was like, okay, where's the camera? I don't see the camera. And I was like, oh wait, the furniture is the camera.
The lenses are still packed, I'm afraid. I'll have to pull one out. I've got one that's about this big, and it's like an f4. I mean,
wow, that's pretty fast for a big lens.
It's an old Varium f4.
Ooh. It's probably a real soft focus portrait lens, I guess. Is probably what it is.
I think that was the intent, but I think I managed to take one picture with it because it's like I really had to try and clean. I had to try and seal those bellows up pretty good. I don't know what. I have a print of it of a cat laying on a chair because the problem I have with that camera is those lenses. The focal lengths are just so long that I tried to focus this one. I had to put it in the kitchen. I was focusing all the way at the other end of the living room, and it's like, yeah, I can focus the TV from here, and that's about all I can do.
Oh man!
And then when you stretch the bellows out to focus, then you start getting light leaks because the bellows is all dried up and crumbly, right? Yeah.
Well, they were. I used one of these repair kits that I think Bostic and Sullivan used to sell them. And I had coated the daylights out of it, and it works. But yeah, literally.
You know what actually works? What works pretty good if in a pinch is go to the hardware store and you can buy this bottle of liquid electrical tape. It's a black, goopy, rubbery substance with a brush applicator, and it's literally designed as liquid, but you can use it for putting on bellows because it's flexible and light tight. So.
And that's what this repair kit was.
Awesome.
It was basically a bottle of yay big, and it had basically gray goop in it that just did the exact same thing with it.
Yeah.
They must extract that from melted feet off typewriters.
They did. That's right.
Stick it into
they harvest it from old typewriters.
We still have that rubber goop.
Rubber goop.
Yeah, from your we're fiddling with that Underwood. Was it a week ago or a couple weeks ago? And that you said that the black rubber stuff got everywhere on your clothes around the house.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. I've made a lot of progress with that typewriter actually, but yes, it was a real mess and a half. Yeah, I took some advice. You know how Ted said he made a comment that I burned in my brain, which is don't get too excited until the feet are on or until you raise up the body of it, because it had all these issues with alignment and not working or whatever. So I wasn't able to get the feet, but I went down to Ace Hardware and I picked up some rubber grommets, like the kind that we sometimes use to replace on the Olympias. Mm-hmm. And I got 4 of those. And then I also used 4 hose washers. Okay. So, I don't know exactly what size they were. They're little black washers that I had from my kit. So I did those like with the other one next to it. So like 2 different washers basically together to give it a little bounce, you know? Mm-hmm. So there's the hard washer and then there's the squishy thing. And it worked great. It now types perfectly. It's well aligned. You can see here up close what I did, sort of. Yep. Sort of, kind of.
It doesn't have to be attractive. It just has to work.
You just have to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to get it off the ground. And so that worked great.
Shiny.
And best of all, it bounces now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's bouncy, 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 bouncy. Fun, 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 fun. The wonderful thing about Tiggers is, anyway. That works great. So
excellent.
Thank you.
That's good to hear.
It was a nice cheap fix, actually. I think each little rubber grommet was like 50 cents. And the other ones that I have from my kit were from a $10 kit that I bought on Amazon that I used for the Olympia. Mm-hmm. So it worked out to go pretty well. Yeah. And then I also got a present from Joe that I'm going to try to use pretty soon. I haven't used it yet, but he sent me this wonderful, wonderful
grommet thing. Yeah.
It's got everything in it. It's got the little doodads and everything. I looked inside and I was like, where's the signature? Where's the signature?
Oh, I didn't sign it. Darn it, I forgot to sign it.
It's okay. It's okay. But it's brand new.
I think if I would have signed it, you would have hawked it on eBay.
I know. I
Not
thought
really.
you must be afraid it would be like a patent violation or something.
That's right.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
No, I forgot to sign it.
No, it's okay. But I'm thrilled. It's the whole kit. It's not just the squeezers. It's all the little doodads. So I don't have to hunt around and try to find the right size and all that. So that's really cool. I'm excited to use that, Joe. So thanks so much.
Sure. The only thing it doesn't have is a hole poker. You have to poke a hole in the ribbon first.
That's okay.
So,
I've got this.
There you
Think
go.
This'll work?
That'll work.
This
Yep.
might work? Or
Yep.
just scissors?
Yeah, just scissors.
But this one has a little tiny hole punch.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
The other trick I use for making holes in ribbons is in nylon ones. It takes a small nail and a little lighter, warm the nail up so it to the melting point, push it through, it melts it. It doesn't fray. Put the garment through, squeeze it, done.
That's a nice idea.
Nice,
That's
nice.
fun.
Good idea.
Very good.
That's a cool idea. Wow. You guys have the best ideas.
By trade, I'm a heavy-duty mechanic, but I run my small engine shop. And so I'm used to using a lighter in the shop for sealing the end of starter cords so they don't fray. And so I thought, well, if I can melt the end of a starter cord, this is nylon. And early on, I think Ted was talking about ring and cylinder adjustments and how delicate they can be. When I'm working on hydrostatic transmission, either on a lawn tractor or a combine harvester, the neutral setting can be so touchy on those things. So when you take your foot off the forward pedal, it comes to complete standstill, and same with reverse. If you get that setting slightly off, it doesn't come to complete stop. So I actually see quite a few similarities in between working on my small engines and working on typewriters. Intricate little mechanisms like governor linkages, carburetor linkages, everything has to be just right, other it doesn't work properly.
Right, that's true. I was just thinking, Dan had a machine. Did you guys talk about that one this morning yet?
No.
I joined late, but he had an underword that we were sort of trying to remote fix together. It has it's a long piece of linkage that we don't know if it goes someplace or not. There we go. Yeah, so Ted, can you help with that one? Because we couldn't figure out the Y shape on the end and how it's supposed to connect up.
Oh, that's a good
We're
question.
really puzzled, and his space bar isn't working.
Yeah, and I actually found out Sarah was putzing around with it. I have it in front of me right now.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to talk out of turn.
What model is this? No, I appreciate it. Long story short is I picked this machine up a couple years ago. And when I got it out of the box, I only paid
one of
$20 for
those,
it, and there was a reason for it. There's nothing connecting the space bar to the escapement. Okay. And I also noticed, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, did you see that? So it's got
sometimes you feel like a nut.
Too.
Sometimes you don't.
Delightful. Give me a second here. I'll be right back.
Sorry.
He's going to pull out a manual for the Underwood or something.
Somebody has some kind of diagram.
I sent him a screenshot from the Typewriter Repair Bible.
Oh, yeah.
But
Sarah
I don't think it was
a lot of time trying to help me, and I appreciate that.
I don't know. It was a fool's errand.
You spent a lot of time, and I was grateful.
My pleasure.
I'm pretty decent with typewriter repair, but this one's got me stumped. I really need some kind of exploded diagram of this machine, and I don't have one personally.
He kept saying exploded diagram.
We don't have any documentation on these later Underwoods from the late 50s to the early 60s, but I do have one, so I can look at it.
Oh, good.
Let's
so
see.
It seems like there's like a little, Ted, there was a little screw on each side.
Okay.
Near the escapement area.
This part
where
goes into the space bar, and then it feeds through the machine between all the linkages and all that. And this is the end, I assume, trips the escapement. Now, another thing is the guy I bought this from, he collects typewriters too, so I don't even know if this bar belongs to this machine.
Doesn't look like anything that's in my machine.
Ooh, but then that also means where's the connector?
Yeah, you say it connects to the space bar. Okay, I do see something that kind of looks like what you have. Can you show me that piece again? Show me the other side.
Oh, here, hold on a second, Ted.
It has one side with a hole in it where a screw would go in.
Let me try and flip the camera here.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm terrible at this.
There you go.
There. See?
Okay, I do see that. I do have that thing. The part with the hole in it connects to
Is that
the
towards the front?
spacebar.
Yes.
If you look at the bottom of the machine, it connects to the spacebar with the bend going upwards.
Okay.
Bend going upwards.
And
Okay.
then it feeds through the keys, pretty much straight through the machine, and then it hooks to. It looks like it hooks to a piece. Let's see. Yeah, that goes all the way back there.
And that Skaman is buried in this machine.
Yeah, it really is. Let me take a.
Those Underwoods.
Yeah, I don't like these Underwoods very much.
I know. I had an Underwood Jewel that gave me some fits as well.
Okay, I'm gonna pull my camera down here and see if I can show you where that one part of that L shape at the other end goes right about.
Dizzy.
Let's see.
I'm getting nauseous.
Take some deep breaths.
I don't know if you can see it,
and
but
look
there's
away
like
from the picture.
There's like a slot in the very back plate here where the escapement stuff is. That's not showing it very well. Let me try some more.
I would have thought there'd been a pivot in the back as well, but there's no hole or anything on that.
No
fulcrum.
bar.
What it does, one side of that goes into this slot here. Let's see if I can show. Yeah,
I
you
can
see
the
that
picture of the slot.
Where's that piece right there? That's one That's one part of that L shape that goes into that slot. The other part is buried way down in there, and I think it's connecting to something and pushing against something.
Let me try and flip.
Eric.
But I can't see what it is.
I can see that hole.
Yep.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna flip. Ooh, I love this group.
Isn't it awesome?
All right,
It's like
so
20,000
if
leagues
I'm
under the
looking at-
typewriter.
This is the slot that it's supposed to go out of, right?
Yes.
So yeah, all right.
One side of that L shape goes in there, and the other side of that L shape looks like it hooks on something, but I can't clearly see what it is. But it'll be right on the other side of that plate.
Okay, so this looks just like yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now also with the machine right side up, like you were typing on it, does it go this way?
The other way.
Or this way?
That way.
That way. Yeah.
Okay.
And Ted, can you tell which two typewriter linkage keys the linkage goes through? You know, like between what two keys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I had a note here, which
And let's all take wagers now to see which ones do you think. Is it on the left or right side of the keyboard? Let's see.
Left.
It's
Left.
on the,
So,
if you're
now
looking.
this is a note I wrote. I said spacebar, look for pin next to the D key bar.
oh,
Keyboard.
the D and E maybe, or D?
Yeah, it's D and E.
Oh, I got it. D and E.
Figured it.
It'll
I win?
No.
right over the peg on the left
50
hand
points to Joe
side.
Van Cleve.
If you're looking at it from the bottom,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the bend will be pointed down. So I think I
Bend will be
told you
pointed
wrong
down.
the first time.
Okay.
The bend will come up from the top and it'll be pointed down. It'll hook onto that little peg like that. Yes.
You may be getting the bends at this point from
Yeah.
That's right.
And then it runs
Sorry.
through that slot. And gee, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how you're going to get that in there, but it
Yeah,
goes through.
I putzed around with it for, oh my God. Well, it's only 20 minutes and then I got frustrated.
How easy is it to take the carriage off, Ted, on these machines?
Oh, good Lord. I don't know.
Oh, God.
That might be the only way to do it is take the carriage off and maybe go from there, right? Because you'll gain access to the escapement probably from there.
I destroyed my Hermes baby doing the carriage removal, and it's jaded on that.
Never get it
I
back.
told Dan every time I get into big trouble with a machine, it's because I said, "How hard would it be to?" Fill in the blank. How hard would it be? And then boom.
Yeah.
Well,
then you're on Shop Goodwill looking for another machine.
Yeah, it's true.
You telling me that slot in the back, Ted, is huge because I did not know that's where it went through. So I'm sure I can figure out how to snake it through. Now, my only problem is how am I got to find some kind of a pin or something to use.
Do you not
to
have a
connect to
pin
that
on the
space.
space bar?
Yeah.
Oh, it's missing? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a problem.
So this might be just a parts machine. Who knows?
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy yourself a new parts machine, Dan. There's a wonderful website called Shop Goodwill. No, just kidding. I bought a parts machine.
I'll be
and
real
ended up
honest
breaking it too.
about these latter day Underwoods. If it's with the kind of repair that you're looking at, I would just get a different machine. Because even if you
I'm
get
only
it
into
working,
it $20, so it's not a huge deal.
Okay, good.
If you get it working, you'll be lucky if it types really well.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
even
these
cleaned it
wear
too, yeah.
so fast and so easily. They're so badly made.
You got to remember, those typewriters were the very end of Underwood production before all of it was over. And there's a reason all of it he was able to buy Underwood, which was the greatest name in typewriters for a very long quality. Was those poor old typewriters. You could probably them and maybe get one working properly out of 6.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Actually makes me feel better because then I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot, and if anything, maybe even if I bend a little paper clip as a pin.
Yeah, it's just hanging there with a pin.
What
so
have I
you
got
could
to
use,
lose?
Yeah, you can use a bread tie wrapper,
$20,
whatever, to get it.
Yeah, you already lost it, so now it's just.
So yes, the link goes in between the D and the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And with
Got the same one there.
L shape going down to the top of the bell crank on the space bar, and as Ted says, the other end goes through the slot right by the screw next to the mainspring.
Yeah, it's buried pretty deep in there. So
yeah, it's buried, and there was not knowing that about that slot. I had no idea where it was going.
Yeah, that's what I think. It pivots. Well, it that's what secures it to the back end, and then it pivots on something. Probably some part of the escapement in there, but I just can't see it very clearly.
No, I'll get it. Well, I appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
Oh, sure. Aren't you glad it's not a Hermes?
Yes. Well, the
thing is,
I should just get rid of it because it's just a bane in my.
It's an oopsie, but now you can be really brave and just like dive in and mess around with it without any fear. Isn't that great? It's very free.
Experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be rocking the rocker plate of the escapement, right? Is how that works. So you're just going to look on. So that's kind of how the spacebar works. So
that's a really good idea about that.
And the other part of the Y pulls against, as Ted says, the rocker part of the escapement where the fixed and loose dog alternate on the escapement wheel.
Okay.
There you go.
If that helps at all.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, it may just go right in there, and you can hook it in with some sort of pin.
Well, apparently it came out. It came out, right? Yeah, pretty easy. So
probably
it came out. I can go in.
It was laying in the bottom of the case.
Yeah, probably that pin came out, and the front end of that came loose, and it just pulled right out of the escapement. So you can just stick it right back in there, put it in that slot, and then
now that I know to aim towards that slot, that's some direction, right?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know next week how it went.
Can't wait to see the second episode of
episode 3 of the Dan Miller Underwood story.
By next week, we'll turn it into a sculpture.
That's right.
Like the guy in California Typewriter.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah.
small
Send it
creature.
down to that guy.
Sean's got the right idea there with his
Okay,
hammer.
so just looking at this one, there's no snapping or anything that holds the link onto the spacebar bell crank. It's just the link going through the slot holds it in position against the bell crank on the spacebar. So you have to make sure that the bell crank is aligned with the slot first. So when you put that bar in, you can move it slightly against the springiness of the bell crank, and it pops into the hole.
Oh,
that makes sense.
It might be really
Yes.
easy. We don't know, so you'll have to tell us.
You should try it right now.
William, I'm curious what
wait
the
a second.
decal
I
is on the
see.
side of your.
Hold on. There is a little.
It
pin in
looks
there.
actually like it'd be easier to put it in
Hold on, I got it.
from the top.
Oh,
under the
yeah,
tight
you got the
basket.
pin.
It is. There is a little pin.
It's
so you're
there.
saying
You
it's
can-
just kind of like a friction fit?
Yeah, I think so.
Not a friction fit. I wouldn't
like
say a
the-
friction fit, but a
Like you put it in resistance or something.
The 4-key
an
lever
alignment
keeps it.
because the slot in the comb holds that link in line, and then the bell
Oh.
crank on the space bar is just held against it by the springiness of the bell crank. So
That makes
there's
sense.
no
I
pin,
see that
no,
now. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yep. No
There you go.
retainer.
Here's a. Let's see if I can get a good picture of that. Where it sits. There. Can you see
I'm looking
that?
at this one. It
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
Ta-da!
So there you go. That's what it looks like when it is all hooked up.
I say it
It's
looks
like
like,
a
it might
little-
be easier to put it in from the take the bezel off behind the tight bars if needed, and then it looks like it would be easier to just drop in from the top side as opposed to trying to fill it in from the bottom side.
And again, it goes like this, correct?
Yep.
Ted, is that screwed in or is it actually resting on a
It's a
thing
pin.
that sticks out? It's just a
there's
pin
little
and
pin-
it just
a pin.
sits over it.
Yeah.
It just comes through a slot that's in the comb.
And it just sits on a pin at the end of the type.
It just
and
kind
then-
of.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Oh,
yeah.
if that's no wonder it fell off then.
I can.
You may want to
disconnect
bend
mine,
it, bend it a little bit to the left once you get it in there, and that way it'll stay on the pin. Make a little bend on it.
Yeah,
Right.
I bet that's what happened.
What I would actually say is looking at the typewriter from the front is to bend the bell crank on the space bar to the right.
To the right. Okay.
So that when you put the bar in, you have to spring the bell crank slightly to the left, so then it'll pop in.
Snap back in place. Yeah.
Yes. Snap back in.
Okay.
That's
It's
the
kind of
word.
like those the Y pins on the key levers for Smith Coronas. They come sometimes pop open, and
Yes.
it's exactly like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll just clip back together
The
again.
clevis pin or whatever they
Clevis
call it.
pin, that's
Well,
it.
guys, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
good luck.
William?
We
Yeah.
hope that it works.
I'll say a prayer and give it a shot.
We should all say prayers. Yes. Ah.
And
Before it gets too late, Curry, did you have something to show us?
Yes, I did actually. So the other day on Facebook, I had shared just a photo. I think it was a toy typewriter called a Metoy toy typewriter. I had seen a posting for, and I don't normally collect them, but it just looked like it was in really pristine condition. So I just sort of put it out there, and I do actually have one other toy typewriter in my collection that my wife had found at an antique mall near my place. That so she sort of came across it. She pointed it out. I'm like, oh, toy typewriter. I don't know, but whenever I'm out and I look at these things, I always quick call up the typewriter database and see what I can find out about them. But there wasn't much information about this. I'm just going to switch my cameras around.
That's cool.
And,
That's a toy typewriter?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's better.
Oh, it's
Wow.
cute.
Hell of a toy.
Alba.
Oh yeah.
An Alba, yeah. Okay.
Alba.
That's
toy
amazing.
typewriter.
Cute.
And
Oh, it's darling. It's like a
Spanish
tiny
made.
actually
Hulda or
has
something.
the office equipment company sticker on it and everything.
Aw.
A toy
Wow.
office.
Out of Toronto. And so
Oh,
made
wow.
in Italy, so it's actually
Oh.
actually quite
Wow.
cool.
Mhm.
And then if I hold it up a little bit closer, you can probably make out the
Oh
typeface.
Wow. I like that
kinda neat 'cause
typeface.
it's all caps. So you think,
That's
well, what are you going
cool.
to use that for? So I've actually done little stickers that I had.
Oh,
sent
nice.
some letters out
Oh,
and, last year that I could put those on. So lots of little different uses
I
that
see how this works.
You can make a radio mill typewriter, right, for receiving Morse code
There you
messages.
go.
It's
Oh,
just
that's
a
cool.
baby.
But it
It's so
actually,
cute. It's just a little baby.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Is it
That's
plastic?
amazing.
really good. It's a little got a little rubber type bar rest on here,
Wow.
and it actually has a ribbon reversing mechanism.
No
You
way.
can actually
It looks like it's
switch
metal.
the ribbon
Is
back
it
and
metal or
forth.
plastic?
It looks metal.
It's metal.
Wow.
Or the type slugs are plastic, right?
No, they're
No,
metal.
they're metal. They're metal. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
absolutely metal. So
A
it's
little
not like
better
the
than your average
Sears
town
ones
thumb.
or
Yeah.
some of those department store toy typewriters. Like the outer shell is almost like a bake light. It's tougher plastic. But
Wow.
50s as far as I could tell.
Yep.
But no, everything in it, all the guts is all metal.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What year?
Very cool.
What year do you think it is?
And then there's a carriage release back here, and it.
Wow.
I would guess 1957.
It
A
looks
machine
like
for the
it,
serious toddler.
I'm not
it
sure
looks
that's
like
a
it
toy.
takes.
Serious toddler.
It's a 3-bank, so it has the dual shift, right? I guess.
No, just two. So it's
Oh, just
only-
two. Okay. Oh, just caps only. Okay.
Yeah. But it does have the down here. It has the pound.
Oh, yeah.
Dollar sign.
Nice.
Even though it was made in Italy, so some of them have it's not actually pound, it's lira. But
Lira. Yeah.
actually the pounds.
That's a rich kid toy typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a
I'm thinking
high-end
maybe
one.
that's why the reason that it had the office equipment label on it.
Yeah.
Is that they
Yeah.
probably actually sold it. They would have sold it out of the office equipment place for maybe people that were.
What do you think
shopping
it weighs? What's the weight of it?
Oh, it's a good couple of pounds. I mean, it's because of the metal
Yeah,
inside.
metal.
yeah.
It's not like it's just plastic.
That's
right?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Wow.
there's any actual
So-
adjustment screws in that machine.
Probably just
Yeah.
bending, right? But-
Yeah, and it's
That's
so
wonderful.
where are we? So
Yeah, what's that
carriage-
famous toy place in New
Chef.
York?
But it doesn't go all the way back down. Oh, the toy store. in New York?
FAO.
FAO
Yeah,
Schwartz.
FAO Schwartz. That's
Oh,
where you
yeah,
probably
yeah.
find one of those, huh?
Yeah. Back,
Probably.
So
That's
a
cool.
lot of fun. I mean, that's the only one that I've ever collected. I don't have any of those like little tin toy typewriters.
Yeah.
Where you kind of have the index dial and
Yeah.
click it down.
I can see where this one would be a lot more practical, though, if you want to actually use it for little printing jobs.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, or like I say, the little labels or whatever.
Oh,
Your label maker.
Types in all caps.
I like your coffee cup there.
Oh yes,
Very appropriate.
Coffee with
And,
friends.
So cool.
That's right.
Say
Oh.
four feet makes it sweet.
Ah, nice. Oh,
So
that's
you know
good.
what you ought to do is Curry is get a carbon film ribbon and wind it onto those spools and see if you can get the carbon film imprint on that typewriter.
Yes.
You know the kind of ribbon cartridges that come with IBM Selectrics and Daisy Wheel electronic typewriters. Put one on there and see if it'll actually really make a nice imprint.
Yeah,
spool some of this.
because I've
Yeah.
actually got a dual color ribbon in here, but there's no ribbon color selection.
There's right, right.
Yeah.
Right. So I can see if I can
Maybe
swap
just
it out
stick it
for
like
that
this.
and give it a try.
It would just have to. It has to be able to move the ribbon enough on every character to move over enough to make an even imprint. With the carbon film. But I'm just thinking it might be a really cool typewriter with a carbon film. You have a nice imprint.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the carbon ribbon goes, if anybody is interested, I happen to score 2 boxes of a dozen of the 440-foot carbon film rolls from
Oh, wow.
a while ago. So if anybody's looking for some carbon ribbon, I can easily spool some onto a couple of plastic spools and just let me know and I'll mail them to you, and then you've got something to work with, as opposed to having to take an IBM cartridge to pieces, which is, I believe, is 5/8 ribbon anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that working for you, Sarah?
Well, I'm a newbie. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
And the equipment you sent is wonderful, but I don't know if I need 2 of these little doodads or 1.
There should be just one, but you got to get the right size hole so that it grips the cloth of the ribbon.
Okay.
It's
I'll
better
keep
to
at
make
it.
a slightly smaller hole, I think, than a larger hole.
Yeah, I think that's where I made my first mistake. So let me see what I can do. But
the tiniest ones are the best.
Yeah.
The tiniest holes are the best.
Yeah. So I have a little show and tell here
All
on Facebook. You guys
Yeah.
have already seen
Am I
it.
doing this
So I bought a broken typewriter, but it's got the large font, the 6 inch.
Oh, you found
And
another
so
one.
the typewriter was perfect and clean and everything. It just didn't have a cover. But I don't care because, it's worth picking it up, and I can probably find a replacement or make one or something, do a test,
Sure.
molding or something.
Paper mache.
This is later, probably mid 70s. I don't know the exact date. But,
What's the CPI on that one?
Case, I didn't have to do anything to it.
I think it's 6, William. I think it's 6.
Inch. It's the bulletin. It's the
Oh,
bulletin.
bulletin. Wow.
That's your second one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those can be really
my
great.
First one has a serif. Yeah, for when in 20 years from now, when my eyes were.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect, but maybe for writing newsletters, Greg, maybe go back and forth. And I can
So
type
May,
up some headings
I like
for the
those.
newsletters.
I like those metal ribbon spools you're using because they kind of remind me of reel-to-reel spools.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Right, and especially without a ribbon cover, it looks really cool.
Well,
the
this
old
came from
Corona.
our friend Lucas Dole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ordered some of the all black cotton and nylon to try them out, and I really like the cotton ribbon.
I got
nice arc and hole.
Hey, May, how about painting the tops of those ribbon spools brown to match the typewriter?
Well,
Don't,
that would be
because
original.
they are the older style. For
No,
the
don't
Corona
want to do
floor.
older style. I like to
Okay.
keep them original.
Yeah.
I have a question about that 6. I have that old Underwood that's a 6, but I never really typed on it. But that one that you have, May, just because the slug is so big, does that?
Oh, you put
do
it
they have
there.
a different ribbon vibrator setting? I mean, does it?
It only does
has
one
2
color.
settings,
It's
type
only-
or stencil.
It has 2 settings.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
was
you have
wondering
to put an
because
all black ribbon.
simply because
if
a
you put
ribbon
red
is
and
not
black
big enough,
ribbon,
correct?
it'll look
Get
Put
it.
it on there, maybe.
Get a two-tone
So either
letter.
black or stencil. Yeah, you
You
could
get a
do two-tone. It would be interesting, decorative effect, but yeah.
It's like, wow, she must be a
Regular
hippie.
typing.
Okay.
So,
Was that from Shop Goodwill?
It was from
and-
Shop Goodwill.
Oh,
interesting-
man.
Nobody
How
wanted
do you
it
spot
because
them?
it didn't have the cover.
I think I passed
She
on
loves
that
those
one.
naked typers.
I
Yeah.
love the naked
Oh.
typers, but I count
She saves
the
them for us.
ruler bars, and I saw that it had 60 on a
Oh,
12
my
inch
goodness.
carriage. And so,
Yeah. Do the math.
Eagle eye.
Hey,
Yeah.
You can tell. And sometimes
Hold
you
up.
can tell by the ribbon selector. If the ribbon selector is only black or stencil, then it's either going to be a cursive or a large print. So look at the ribbon color selector.
Oh, you're supposed to take the thing off of here.
Yeah.
May, you are definitely
that's how I
a typewriter
spotted it.
hunter.
Yeah,
She is.
hardcore.
Well,
Sought out
nowadays
your
I'm on
prey
the
and you
lookout for more unusual. I've got a lot of common machines already, so now I'm going to hunt for unusual ones with unusual typefaces.
well, and you knew what to look for.
An
This is
interesting little
interesting.
story
Oh, wait, so
about
that
the
I can
6.
afford. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
An interesting little story about the 6 CPI. I bought a Smith Corner Classic with a 6 CPI with the intention of typing to my aunt in England who is legally blind. But what she found is that with the sans serif type, her eyes couldn't figure out where the strokes of each letter began or ended. So she had a heck of a problem reading it. So if I had a 6 CPI with the serif type, She was saying that her eyes could tell where
Yeah.
each stroke of each letter begins and ends.
Because of her
Because you could see the edge
Her
of it.
vision.
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
bit of end of it.
So yeah, my
Interesting.
SD5 has got the serif type.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So May, that's a better typeface. That
Yeah.
speech
So
right.
this was, I showed this before. This was cotton ribbon versus nylon ribbon. You can really tell the difference in the
If you're the
boldness of
president, you could be
cotton.
using that for
Yeah.
your speeches, you know?
My lesson plan. Yeah, I don't really have a use for them, but they're fun. They're fun, you know. But later in life, I think that I'll really appreciate them.
And the other
Also,
fun
they're
thing
good
about
for
those
resale
12s
value too.
is you can put a sheet of 11 by 17 in there and type nice big letters.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With the 6 CPI.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually bought some paper like that just to try it, and boy, that's a lot of real estate. You know, it's hard to fill up 11 by 17 paper.
Wow.
You know, but I did buy a ream. It, you know, it fits in the 12-inch buttons. But I've only used it a couple of times trying to do Joe Van Cleve style stream of consciousness type of
Joe Van Cleve
That's
style.
when you got some really big thoughts that you want to get
Yeah,
out.
but then going back and reading
Big
across
thoughts by
that
Joe
wide
Van
of a
Cleve.
page, it's hard to read across that wide of a page. So
It is.
I would only use it for like bulletins, maybe newsletters.
Newsletters.
Yeah, so or maybe this typewriter. This typewriter would be perfect for that style of.
You okay, Sarah?
size of paper. She's doing a May.
We've never had a fatality on the air yet.
Turn off my speaker here. I can't.
Hopefully.
I can't breathe.
Also got a different camera. Messing around with the OBS and things like that, although I don't know how exactly it works.
You'll get the hang of it.
Maybe next time, like, oh, look, I got a second camera. I have this, let me see if I can go back. This, I don't know what you call it. It's a camera on a snake. I bought it to unclog my dryer vent. So basically, it's a little camera on a 20
it's a colostomy
feet of
camera.
a wire. Yeah, so you can go down. You can go down plumbing.
That's
You
one
can
use
put little
for 'em.
hooks on here. Yeah. So you can use it to find things that fall down your drains,
Right.
or in my case,
Did you buy it
clean out my
used?
dryer vent.
We're into the late night portion
No,
of the
I bought it on
broadcast.
Amazon. It was only
After
like,
hours.
it was only like $20, but I thought it was neat because if you wanted to show like
Inside a typewriter.
inside
Yeah,
a typewriter, yeah, you can go.
Can you demo that for? Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's a
into the heart of the
close-up
machine.
camera. So-
in the mechanics field, we use those little
You can
cameras,
see the-
we call them boroscopes. You pull the spark plug out and you
Yes.
actually take a look at the inside wall of the cylinder without having to pull the head.
It's hard to do with the backwards mirror. I'd have to turn the mirror image around so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, you can get, it's meant for close-up. It's not meant for, you know, far. But it's meant to do close-up. So this would be a great way to get inside if you're trying to take
Ooh,
pictures.
there you go.
There we go.
inside
That
a
was a good shot.
typewriter, you know, things like that. And it's got a light on it. So
Cool.
next Sunday, I'll see if I can get something like Ted's set up where I've got, you know, one camera on the typewriter and one camera on my head. That will be interesting.
That'll be 3 of us then.
So we can all be just like Ted. We all want to be just like Ted, right?
Yeah.
Brian Good experimented with it that one week.
But I think somebody else has done
But that'd be
it.
4 people. That would be
yeah.
4.
Yeah.
You know, I have OBS
That's
on my
too many,
computer,
though.
but I don't have an extra HDMI adapter for a second camera yet. So one of these days.
Well, this one's USB, so this one's just
Oh,
a
is it?
simple USB, like kind of like a webcam, but
Yeah,
on a wire instead.
I have success now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I
There you go.
struggled. As you can see, a lot
Oh,
of struggle
nice.
there.
You did it.
And then I
Oh.
finally, and then there it is.
Nice.
Nice.
Just a note, you only need one.
Oh yes, I know. I had some thank you, Ted.
Little zealous vomiting.
It was a little
Well,
obvious.
I had some trouble. As you can see, I struggled a lot. And of course, I'm going to drive our new friend crazy because I got my hands dirty again. But
Great.
there it is. But I learned the problem was that I needed to take off the larger doodads and then put those in and then face them the right direction. And anyway.
Fantastic.
Right. But the hole punch does actually work. This is a very tiny hole punch.
Like
You can
an
probably see.
1/8 inch. Yeah.
Right. And so it just breaks it open enough to be able to slide that grommet through. But really, it was just a matter of positioning it. So thank you very much. I'm thrilled, Joe. And
Oh, great. I'm glad it works for you.
I've learned a new trick. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when you were showing that camera earlier, May, that reminds me another old television repair shop story of mine from back in the 1980s is the shop I worked at. One day the city came by, a city crew, and they had one of the early borescope cameras that they used in the sewer system. It was a large cylindrical camera. It was actually a Vidicon tubed camera with a large umbilical cable that they would run down through the sewers to, check things out. And so they wanted me to fix it.
Through the sewers? No. Just say no.
Fix the camera. So luckily they cleaned it first. So I did fix it. I did fix it. But,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Next you'd have to do one that's like a bariatric camera that goes in somebody's stomach or whatever. That would be crazy.
I'm curious to know
stomach.
Yeah.
William, you were holding up your Underwood
cam.
typewriter earlier, referencing the linkage part.
Yes.
It had a interesting looking decal on the side, and I was curious what that was. Was that from an office supply?
Yeah, mine doesn't have that decal.
It's just an Underwood decal.
No, that's
Interesting
just
looking design.
Just the Underwood. Where are we?
Okay.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
The
Very
Canadian
nice.
that only for like
Made in Toronto.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd make a good T-shirt logo.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, how many Canadians are there on this Zoom meeting?
I think there's at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to attract a lot of Canadians.
I'm from Calgary.
I'm just an honorary Canadian, so.
Are you? Oh.
You just sound Canadian, that's all.
No, that's right.
Did someone say they were from Calgary?
Yeah, I'm from Calgary. Sean.
John?
That's why I'm YYC Typewriter, which is our airport code. For everybody who...
Okay, in that case, I have talked to you before.
Oh, okay. I don't remember when or where. My memory's pretty short these days. I'm getting old. When you get to be my age, Bill, you'll understand.
Yes, I would not so much talk to you, but I would have messaged you on Kijiji.
Oh, okay.
Because you had a fully restored Smith Corona, I believe it was.
Yes, I've had a lot of Smith Coronas that I've run out the door.
Yes. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometime when all this COVID nonsense is over, we can get together for coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just an hour and a half south of
I wish
Calgary
we
on
could
Highway
all
2.
do that.
Yeah. Stavely. I've driven by the grain elevator.
There you go. So I happen to notice you have a picture of a steam locomotive on your
That's my great grandfather's steam locomotive. He was a CN engineer for 55 years. And so that was his retirement day, his last run into Jasper. He ran out of Jasper over the CN line up there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And William,
I
I'm in Ontario, so about an hour outside of Toronto. Well, Waterloo. Some folks will know where Waterloo is. It used to be the headquarters of BlackBerry.
Oh, yes.
Still around, but not quite so well known. People still have their Blackberries in their drawers or something like that. But
yep.
Now we have
my
Google
first
and Shopify and other tech companies and stuff here. So
yeah, my first visit to Canada was actually to a little town called Wingham in southern Ontario.
Yeah.
So you're Canadian with an interest in American politics there?
I did.
I try not to.
More about American politics than Canadian.
Bernie. They have Bernie here.
Yep. He's got Bernie in the background.
Oh, that's good.
So look, I'm on my way. I've got 2 cameras now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Very
yeah. Pretty soon.
nice.
Next Sunday, we're going to get all fancy.
Sunday.
Nice.
Bring your camera.
Only thing is this is not it's only a close-up focus camera.
Okay.
So maybe try, you use old cell phones though, right, Ted?
Yes,
your second camera?
because I'm in Linux, for some reason I can only use one USB camera.
Uh-huh.
So I use the cell phones, old cell phones. I've installed IP webcam on them, and basically they broadcast their signal over the Wi-Fi channel, and this machine picks them up and pipes them into the OBS stream. So I can have I can have as many cameras as I want, really.
Okay. As many phones as you have. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got lots of phones. I got a whole
Try that
box of
next time.
phones down
I
here.
got 2 old phones. They still work. They're old Androids.
Yeah, they'll work
with,
fine.
I think Android 5. Android
Yep,
5
yep.
will work fine.
I have 2 that are Android 4 and one that's Android 6. So they're for
Ted,
the older ones, you're going to have to pick up.
Work, Ted?
No, it needs to run Android. But yeah, they work pretty well. I mean, they're a little slow on the when I do something, the actual signal comes through about half a second later, but they work pretty good.
They serve the purpose.
Right, for your typewriter.
So May, if you take your borescope camera and maybe you can rig it up to your typewriter so it's pointing right at the print position.
Right at the paper.
Yeah, we can see your close-up as you're typing, you know.
I'll definitely experiment with that
That'll just definitely be really handy when you want to show us something inside the machine.
Yeah.
Yes, like a royal escapement. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Me.
Like if I had that to show Dan here the Underwood stuff, that would have been really handy.
Exactly.
That'd be a great title for a typewriter thriller, The Royal Escapement.
Maybe that could be the next book in the series.
Yes.
Pulling up. No.
No.
A royal pain in the what?
I wanted to take a borescope and try and stick it in a Smith Premier so I can make it a visible typewriter.
That's a good idea.
There you go. Hey, that's a good idea for the understriped typewriters. Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Typewriter people are such
You're
awful
onto something
jokesters.
there.
Oh,
so
excellent.
Like I was working on this the other day, and royal escapement, royal pain in the ass. Oh, excuse me. But escapement. So this would have been really handy to have, to look inside and watch the movement. So say that again.
I thought somebody had a bleeper for bad words, May. Sorry. I heard a bleep when you said.
Yeah, I know, huh? I heard that
I keep hearing that. Yeah.
I didn't know if Gregory was sitting there going.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'll play around with this more and set up something interesting for next time.
That'll be cool.
So, yeah.
I'm interested to see what you do with that. That's a really neat little thing.
Yeah. And then I've got an extra phone too. Then I can set up 3
there you go.
cameras.
I'll
like
look up
Ted's
IP
side.
webcam in the
webcam.
Play Store. Actually, you may have, because you have an older version of Android, you may have to download an older APK version of that program. But that was pretty easy for me to do. I was able to find it online pretty easily. Just search for like Android 5.0 IP webcam.
And easy for me for 2 different things.
I have great faith in your ability to figure things out. That is not something I am worried about.
Michael in the comments said, "Did Monk say Linux?"
Yeah, I run Linux for all my machines.
Yes. What distro of Linux?
I have MX19 on my main machine, and this one is Linux Mint 20.
Okay.
I just grabbed the latest distro because that seemed to be the thing to do.
Now, the first one you mentioned, is that one of the more techie distros, or?
Well, it's one of the more popular ones, but yeah,
Is it?
it is not necessarily friendly to people who are not into Linux.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't hold your hand very well.
It's a programmer's operating system for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ran
You have to type
Ubuntu
commands.
and Lubuntu for a while. I think I tried Mint, but yeah, I keep coming back to Windows.
I would, except that after Windows 7, I just couldn't get on board Windows 10, and so I decided to make the switch full time. So
Wow, you're a brave man.
that was,
The libertarian of computers operating systems.
There you go.
I had to get my version of Photoshop running in it, and that the game that I play, which is Rift, they're both Windows programs, so I had to get them running in Wine.
Excellent.
But once I did that, I was like, well, everything else I can do with Linux native programs. So
Everything's
Is there a good video editor for Linux?
there are 5 good video editors for Linux.
Interesting.
I use
Those
which one
online.
do I use? That's a good question. Which one?
I
do
know the
have?
graphic editor is GIMP.
Yep.
Yeah.
GIMP is for photos.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where do I have my graphic?
I have GIMP on my Mac, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, it's available on all the platforms.
I've been playing around with GIMP and Affinity Photo. I decided I wanted to jump ship from Adobe when they went to the Creative Cloud, and I held off for as long as I can with an old copy. Like, I can't remember the number now, but
I've got Photoshop 7 running on this machine and Photoshop CS2 running on this machine.
Wow. So okay, you get it.
I get it.
He gets it.
I've never got on the cloud service bandwagon.
I'm on
So
it.
you've been able to maintain those with your running your Linux. It's compatible then with CS2 and.
It is more compatible with CS2 than it is Photoshop 7. Yeah. Because
yeah,
Photoshop 7 is 32-bit. It just doesn't play well with 64-bit operating systems. But I managed to do it. I've been using Photoshop 7 since the 90s, so I had to have it.
Interesting.
Do you also? Well, I guess you wouldn't because it's you're running Linux. I was gonna say, do you also run WordPerfect?
No,
Oh,
no.
wow, that's the name
I
for the-
actually have WordPerfect
That's awesome.
5.1
Sure.
installed on a DOS machine.
Oh,
So
excellent.
a DOS laptop.
I think they're still making WordPerfect. Actually,
They are.
yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
I feel bad for them.
Let's
all
see.
about
I'm using
Word.
for my video editor. I'm using OpenShot. Which
OpenShot.
OpenShot, like bang.
Yeah.
Let's see. What am I using for? Let's see. No, I just have Blender and Inkscape on here. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have a whole lot on this machine. This is just for my video production. So
Okay. All righty. Well, I think we're just about at the 3.5 hour mark.
It's been an absolute
Wow.
blast.
Time flies for sure.
Yeah. Does anybody
been
have
great.
anything that they want to show or anything before we sign off?
I'm going to
one
share
last-
something if I can.
Okay.
Can I share
Yeah.
something?
Go for
Just
it.
so y'all know, lucky for me, Greg stopped by a few days ago. I think it was Greg. He was wearing a mask the whole time, but they kind of looked like him. Anyway, I threw a few dollars at him for doing this for us. If anyone feels so inclined, he would never say it, but this all costs him money. So I just threw him a few dollars. If anyone else feels the need to
nice.
do that, that would be way cool. But in the meantime, I got some great machines off the man. So I've already got one claimed by a young person. And
Excellent.
I've got this Monster Royal I got going too. That yeah, it's been very exciting. It was very good seeing you, Greg. Thanks for stopping
Very
by.
good seeing you
So
too.
nice
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
live so close to each other.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah,
I have a new ID badge I want to show you guys. That's my new ID badge.
Hilarious.
I'm
I
wearing
saw
it right
that
now.
in there, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
guys are
wanted
funny.
to wish Indro good luck with his blog as he gets ready to launch. So
Yeah.
very cool.
I need to get
Excellent.
on mine.
It's good to see you,
Take some
Brenda.
time.
Yeah, good to
It will
see you,
take
Joe.
take a while.
I just got a message from Dwayne Jensen. He was going to try and get on this morning, and he said he was away this morning, but he's going to try his best to get on next week.
Okay.
That would be
Excellent.
awesome.
That would be great if he
That would be
finally join
awesome.
our little family here.
Then we could have a real
Yes.
pro.
I have no idea what
I
he looks
know.
like. All his videos are his hands and
He
typewriters.
has a great voice.
Yes,
does.
I
definitely.
love his voice.
And I
So
like the
I'm
way he
keeping my
mounts
fingers
his
crossed for
camera
next
right
week.
on a little. He mounts it on like a light stand kind of thing. It just so it moves around right in front of him. Anyways, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for next week.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no problem. So, well, everybody,
Always good to
thanks
see you,
again for all
folks.
the help.
Yeah, thank you.
All
It was
right.
great
See
seeing
y'all.
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
See you
It
next
has
Go
been
out and
wonderful.
get your
Again next week.
typewriter club
We'll see you
shirt.
next week.
Yeah.
There's Agatha
great.
again.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Buddy, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Greg.
welcome.
Thanks, Gregory.
Bye.
Have a great
You're
weekend
welcome.
or a
Thank
great
you,
week.
Gregory. Take care.
Bye,
Yep.
everybody.
Bye
God
bye,
bless
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Okay.